launching Strawberry, putting on Stellar Blade OST, then getting a soda. That's how today goes. Boop ba boo.
Come on, let's get away. I've been waiting for this day, let's take a break. Escape the ruined cityscape. It makes you wanna find a new place. Don't wait, the sun is shining too. Take a sip and dip in the oasis blue. Staying cool, cross the desert lands, worth it in the end, for me and you. Get up and let's dance. The music makes you sway, look at my dress. How about an ocean maid? Aren't you obsessed? Don't ever look away, take me away. I'm gonna wear all your favorite outfits, white swimsuit and dresses. Come on, get up, dance with me. Come on, look up, feel the breeze. You wanna see me wear this purple bikini sun kiss. Come on, get up, dance with me. Come on, look up, feel the breeze, babe. It's a new day, holiday. So dance with me, babe. Feel the breeze and take me away. Let's play a game of pool. Maybe sit inside the bar, look at the view with you. If you're tired again, we can come on back and rendezvous. Get up and let's dance. The music makes you sway, look at my dress. How about an ocean maid? Aren't you obsessed? Don't ever look away, take me away. I'm gonna wear all your favorite outfits, white swimsuit and dresses. Come on, get up, dance with me. Come on, look up, feel the breeze. You wanna see me wear this purple bikini sun kiss. Come on, get up, dance with me. Come on, look up, feel the breeze, babe. It's a new day, holiday. So dance with me, babe. Feel the breeze and take me away.
Hey y'all, we're a stream. Terra Invicta's launched. But before we get there, we're gonna react to this. I'm gonna call this Godforsaken Swell. There's a person unboxing Eve from Stellar Blade. And it's a life-size statue of Eve from Stellar Blade. So I'm gonna call it Godforsaken Swell because of how, like, the first frame of this video. I was gonna just instinctively like the video, but I think I'm gonna hold off.
It was fun to play with her feet somehow.
I'm restarting voice meter super fast.
It was fun to play with her feet somehow. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven from Kurogane Studio. For today's video, I've cleared out my studio, as you can see, for a very special figure unboxing. I'm not sure if I will use this phrase figure unboxing in my video's title yet, but if I do, it is mostly for SEO reasons. This is more like an anime statue unboxing, and it would be the first time ever I'm unboxing a life-sized statue. Seriously, I've never thought that a day like this would ever arrive. So before I proceed, what is going on behind the scenes is that an anime statue company, that is what I will call this company for now, Game Lady, has reached out to me via email offering me a life-sized statue of my choice.
Yes, y'all, I can't help it. I'm just dragging my random free IPA shit on stream. I can't help it. I need to check one thing. You're stuck with me, I'm not sorry.
In exchange for one video here on YouTube and a few social media posts. And I saw no reasons to refuse because putting aside getting an anime statue in life size, I just want to make one of the most unhinged ever figure unboxing video on this channel for the sake of entertainment. Right, so before I even get to begin, I had to struggle with the transportation of this statue over here because it is just so darn heavy, and I have no idea how much of the weight is due to the protective materials inside the box. Maybe the actual statue isn't that heavy, but boy, this box over here, it probably weighs as much as my mom and your mom combined.
Well, it may cost more than two people's rents put together, but you know what? At least there's a your mama joke buried in there. The box weighs more than your mama and my mama combined. I don't know how that's a slam, but I'm going with it.
Oh my god. So we have a small box over here. I wonder what the content is. We are going to open up this one first. Looks like clothes to me. Must be clothes for the statue. So this statue is Hadaka inside the box. If she is full Hadaka, then I couldn't show the full unboxing on YouTube for obvious reasons. Let's have a look. I hope the video is in focus. Yup, it is an outfit set for Eve from Stellar Blade. Oh, this is
A whole outfit set even.
Velcro and synthetic.
Does it have my favorite outfit? Because, like, I bet I can, like, just take the clothing. And I'm a really big fan of the yellow hoodie with yellow, like, frack pants. I think that goes super hard. I've been wearing it the whole game.
Leather? No, I'm not sure what this material is. Anyways, not really important, right? As long it looks good. I think when we talk about displaying anime figures or statues, all we care about is how good it looks on the surface. And more straps over here. Right. Oh, nice.
Oh, it's the outfit with the see-through skirt. Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. Oh, she has Raven's outfit! Yo!
This is one heck of a birth rate reducer starter pack. Or you may also call this a male loneliness epidemic mega pack of some kind. Yes.
So, oh, the Kill Bill reference yellow jumpsuit. I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is, but it's a cool jumpsuit and I like it. I'd wear that hoodie any day. It's got like the cute little hand covers and it's got dangly bits. It's like the way I like my earrings, dangly bits. It's the way I like my favorite color, yellow. It's pretty fucking cool. No complaints.
It is upside down. That side should be the head. This should be the legs. But anyways, man, I'm going to need some time assembling this thing. And there is a pair of gloves included right here. I see pantsu as well. Right, I am not opening this package up because these are more like cleaning tools and a pair of bikinis.
Sorry, why does it come with cleaning tools and a pair of bikinis?
You can actually customize your dolls over at Game Lady. Link in the descriptions below if you want to check them out. And I wasn't really sure how to choose because this is my first time literally trying out something like this. And then I told the person who approached me, just follow the pictures, the default pictures displayed in the website, give me the same exact thing. And regarding what is inside the doll, the internal structure, the framework, I'll leave it to him.
I'm dumb. It's not a see-through skirt. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I get it. Oh, okay. So you can get the, what the fuck is the upgraded suit? You can have the nail color customized. Yellow's the right color, honestly. You can have the stand feet, so with bolts, protective caps without bolts, and non-standing. I'm
Him to decide which is best for me. So looks like he sent it over. This weak version. Oh god, this is going to be a big pain in the butt. Is that the head? Is that the head? Because there's a round object right here. Yes, I think it is. So the moment of truth over here, that is actually a beautiful face, right? I mean, the eyes and the lips especially, wow. I still couldn't tell yet if this actually looks like...
Well, I will say something. Assessing the whole face is hard for a person that can't look at faces that well. But the eyebrows, oh, stellar. And that's not a stellar blade pun.
The eyes and the lips especially, wow. I still couldn't tell yet if this actually looks like Eve from Stellar Blade because there is no hair on yet. But solely for the face alone, I think it looks great. And now I am going to proceed to unbox everything and dress this thing up. I just couldn't show it on screen when the whole body is hadaka. But the packaging was really nice. There was that material earlier. Yep, this thing over here on the face, protecting it so that there is no direct impact on the face during shipping.
Something about watching him clothe Eve while she's like just absolutely unmoving and the like what would otherwise be the the random bodysuit is just fucking okay. He censored this because there were nipples exposed. You cannot tell me I'm fucking wrong. Like not Hadaka my ass. He just bounced the titties. I mean, I also don't wear a bra, but like my tits are small enough I don't have to. So I think this statue needs a bra.
It was really exhausting trying to dress this statue or doll up because she is so heavy, right? Full metal framework inside for every joint, the main body, everything is full metal on the inside. So this thing is going to last quite a while as long as you take care of it. And for today's review, I am going to review this thing from the perspective of an...
He really fucked up putting on her pants. That is really crooked.
Anime figure collector. So there are a few things that I actually care about that may not necessarily apply to people who buy dolls like this just because they feel lonely and they want to do things that you are imagining right now. Yes, you can. But that is not the point of today's review because I'm talking about this thing as a figure collector.
Run that back. What did he just say?
Necessarily apply to people who buy dolls like this just because they feel lonely and they want to do things that you are imagining right now. Yes, you can. But that is not apply to people who buy dolls like this just because they feel lonely and they want to do things that you are imagining right now. Yes, you.
So yes, lonely people can do the things that we're imagining to this particular doll. I want a refund on the $3,000 he spent.
Can. But that is not the point of today's review because I'm talking about this thing as a figure collector. So when we talk about what a figure collector cares, it has to be accuracy. How accurate does the doll, the figure look like compared to the actual anime or game character? And this is where the elephant of the room is. Since when does this look like Eve from Stellar Blade, right? Doesn't look like her that much. So here's my take over here. And I'm going to bring up this picture on Game Lady's website. This is supposedly the one I requested for when they asked me which one do I.
Okay, so he's trying to compare if they look alike, the model of Eve that has her hair in a pony, as well as better lighting. I'm going to go on a limb and say sitting down plus lighting. Her lighting is coming from the side that her face is canted to, and her hair is put up appropriately for her, like, jitterily in the game, unless you select the short hair or no ponytail model option, because you can, like, turn your ponytail off. It helps me gauge momentum, so I leave it on. Because, like, then I'm bright yellow, and I have, like, a long black ponytail that I can gauge momentum from. It's not always consistent, and sometimes it's funny because your hair will wrap around you, but, you know, whatever.
Do I want? I feel like the face is kinda identical, but what makes what I have over here look a lot worse is the hair, the wig. And that is the biggest issue I have with this doll for the past 1 hour. I tried to make it look right, but I did not have any experience managing wigs. So I failed. And here's my take, right? I would compare this to cosplays, for example, cosplayers. If you're looking at a very pretty woman, someone born naturally very good looking, she can make any cosplay work and look good, right? That is the unfair world we live in. Pretty people have it easier in their life. And fortunately, in this case, we have a pretty face to work with. Right, this is a very pretty looking face, a lot of nice details around her lips.
Pretty privilege comes with a tax you don't want to pay.
I love her lips. Her lips looks really nice, and even the eye looks fairly realistic. The eyeshadow and everything. So the face is very nice. I love it a lot. I liked it more than I expected. However, yeah, the hair is making her look off, right? So as you can see, her forehead has been growing bigger and bigger, and this was the number one issue I had with this wig over here. While most of the doll is outstanding, it feels like the wig I got from Game Lady is a bit of a lower quality, I would say. So I would like to see more improvements over here. It is just an accessory that shouldn't cost too much, give us a better wig. So the first problem is the rubber strap underneath the wig, which ties onto your head, keeps the wig.
So the rubber strap on the wig is like what's failing. I'm wondering if he was supposed to open the, in quotes, just cleaning stuff that he didn't open to find something to abrade the forehead for more friction, or if you're supposed to use like in the case of there's no hair and you just have silicone, right? Presumably you might want something that's like I don't want to say glue, but a very light adhesive or something to tack it down, possibly, maybe.
Wig in place. It was way too loose. Yes, I'm aware that there is a hook underneath the wig to secure it, to make the rubber strap tighter, but it is not helping much.
Oh, also, he's wearing gloves and we can see the like white powder, I believe, on his gloves, which is also going to grain up under the band, I'd presume, and reduce the friction that it might otherwise have. So I do think maybe the cleaning supplies were necessary and he skipped a really big step. Let's go check the comments really fast, because this has to be the time alone does it, Chef's Kiss. He's gonna have fun with her with that one. Let's see. Had fun practicing RKO, lol. The photo is legendary. Let's see. Clean, not fun with cleaning and maintaining. Hair, wig, maybe. No one's coming in about the wig so far easily.
So given the weight of the ponytail over here, the wig is sliding backwards all the time, and then we adjust it, we position it, and then the wig would start sliding backwards again. It was incredibly annoying. I spent the last 1 hour trying to make it look right, but it isn't helping at all. I gave up, right? So that is problem number one. Problem number two is that the only thing that looks like Eve currently is the bangs in front over here, right? Meanwhile, for example, the sideburns over here, it is way too long. Let me bring up a picture of Eve over here. The sideburn is quite short. This is too long, requires some trimming. And the third part, the most important part, is that the ponytail is supposed...
The sideburn that requires trimming is coming from behind ear, not in front. So it's like not just is the hair slightly the wrong color, but the fit of the wig is actually very poor, as given what he said. I also think you're missing like on the hair color, hair volume, and hair volume in position. And I think that's really just taking away from this.
To be tied up here, not down here. But what I got was being tied down here, and I am not going to untie her hair and redo it because I might make things worse. So I'll leave it for now. I'll leave her this way for now. Doesn't look as good. But I'm planning to purchase a new wig altogether, get a cosplay prop maker to do something about a new wig. Since I already have this statue over here, I am going to make her look as close to Eve as possible from Stellar Blade. I'm also going to buy a new suit for her. You know, the iconic green color suit we saw in the game. Yes, I'm going to change her outfit to that, and then I'll display her somewhere in my studio. So I need a wig upgrade and also an outfit upgrade over here. Not that there's anything wrong with this outfit, but I prefer the green color suit we saw in the game. So that is my opinion about the face over here. I think just by making sure her hair looks good, I can improve the looks of this Eve statue a lot more, right? It is like a pretty cosplayer still needs to get her makeup, her wig done right. If not, her cosplay will not look very good. Same logic over here. So that is my perspective. But yes, I'm indeed unhappy about the wig I got over here, since this is not a cheap statue to begin with. The next thing would be the weight of this thing. I did not weigh it because I don't have a weighing scale in my
I have to check the actual
studio,
price on this.
But let me show you the height.
3,000 has to be a low ball.
This thing is 170 centimeters. So that is pretty tall for an Asian woman, I suppose. For Koreans, not so much, but for an Asian woman, Southeast Asian, very tall. Over here in my country, an adult female averages about 5 feet, 5 feet 2, 5 feet 3 max. Yeah, so this is pretty tall. But as you can see, I'm still bigger than this doll because I'm a lot taller. I'm around 178 or so. So this is pretty tall and heavy. The next thing would be
2,500, not 3,000. There we go.
the customization options you have in Game Lady's website. There are a few different heights you can choose from, and then bust size and other color options. Skin color can change it. There are quite a few options over there. And then the next thing would be the joints. I think it is very important. So the joints
Oh, we could have paid an extra 170 for implanted hair instead of a wig.
are actually pretty stiff, right? It is very tight.
You can pick the nipple color. Oh, bro, y'all have gotta be fucking high. You can... Oh, that's why he censored it. You can pick the private part color. Oh. Okay. That makes... You pick the vagina?
So just trying to pose this doll, it is going to take a lot of effort. It is going to tire you out. So I would imagine that maybe you would pose the doll once or twice and you would leave it. You won't touch it again unless you want to do something else. The weight and very tight joints are actually a good thing because you want a statue like this to be able to stand or even make a simple pose. And
Y'all, if any of y'all get this doll, please let me know. I'm gonna heckle you until I grow old and gray. I'm gonna make fun of you and make that what keeps me alive until I fucking die of old age.
Action pose when you need it. So if the joints are way too loose or the statue is way too light, then it will be very easy to knock it over. You do not want that to happen. So this is a good thing, just that we still don't know yet. In the long term, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years later, will the joints degrade and become loose over time? Only time will tell. And I plan to revisit this doll over and over again in future. Maybe every few months, every 1 year, I don't know. To see how long does she hold up, right? In the long term. And then there is the outfit over here, the one we're getting, which is made of polyester nylon material. I think I mentioned it earlier, right, during unboxing. So this outfit is on the tight side, but it is a good thing because you want to highlight her body shape. At one point, I was afraid that I might accidentally tear it, but no, that did not happen, fortunately. And speaking of her feet, the toes region, there are no metal joints inside, so her toes look very soft and squishy. I think people who love a good pair of feet are going to enjoy her feet a lot. Yeah, her feet looks very nice, the toes especially.
And I quote, people who like a good pair of feet are going to enjoy her feet. End quote.
I was having fun playing with it a bit. So there are a few knobs at the bottom of her feet, in my version here at least. If you do not want to have those white color things over there, you can omit them, but I do not recommend it because without those parts, then this doll will not be able to stand easily on its own. So it is better to include those parts over there unless you love a good pair of feet. The next thing is her hands, her fingers over here, which I'm very impressed with. There are actual joints inside, right? Every digit over here has
I feel like homie left to go buy one of these, and that's why you've been quiet over there. Bro.
its own joints. You can adjust it however you like, and it looks very realistic. Yeah. If there is something that is a bit less realistic, I would say that there are mold lines that you should expect over here on the side of her arm and perhaps her leg as well, because this is silicone, right? Silicone, they are injection molded. 2 parts like that. So you are going to get a bit of mold line on the side. And this being silicone, it is not exactly like you can sand it off like resin or PVC. So a bit of mold lines is to be expected for something like this. And I think there may be other things that I missed out. I forgot about it. So please do ask any questions down in the comments below. Finally, the most important question, how much does one of these cost? At least for this one right here, $2,800 in Game Lady's website. Yes.
So what did he pay for extras to pay $28,000? I'm about to go fucking learn, because this was 2.5 when I was wondering what the fuck this man did. Let's see. Definitely not implanted hair. Definitely not the insert or fixed vagina. Let's see. I have no idea, honestly. Oh, hey, there's 2B there. Lol. Which is referred to as lady number 18-1. Lol. You will call her by her name. You will show her respect. You will meet her with the respect she deserves. Motherfuckers. Yeesh. Oh, he's probably calculating tax. This is weird. I'm gonna delete this from my history. That's nice. Let's go.
People actually pay a premium price for something that not many people have. Most people have scale figures 1/6, 1/4. Doll collectors are 1/6 or 1/3, BJD and Dolphy Dream. So not many people have 1/1 scale, and you have to pay a premium for it, especially for something that is higher tier, good quality for the skin material and so on. And for those of you Americans watching this, I heard that your president will be sending you a $2,000 check. And if that does happen, you have 2/3 of your budget covered for one of these, right? They have Ada Wong from Resident Evil. They have Final Fantasy, Tifa, Yuna, and so on. Tifa is a hot seller from what I'm aware of. And then there would be, Toby from Nier Automata and a few more other characters. I feel like I should have chosen Toby from Nier Automata because she has simple, short hair and I won't have to deal with this mess over here. But I suppose that I let my feelings took over, I like Stella Blade Eve a lot and it is a trending game recently, so I chose Eve instead of Toby. I was debating myself between those two. And there are also a lot of advantages to buying one of these. She won't talk back to you. She will never ask you to buy a Gucci bag for her.
She'll never ask you to buy a Gucci bag is the perk. I also never want a Gucci bag. I honestly was even a bit on the edge about letting my friends buy me a Vera Bradley bag from a thrift store for less than $20. But then again, I'm one in a million. Okay, we're going back to lovely, kind rabbi, and we're getting the fuck away from this for now. But we're just gonna do that. I don't know. I'm dragging y'all through all of the Abrahamic folk stuff. I don't care. We're doing it. It's how we're living life now.
I'm Emu Shalev, and this is a book like no other. Over the last 3 episodes, Rabbi Foreman's been building a thought-provoking theory that the 2 special trees in the garden might in fact have been one and the same. And I don't know about you, but for me, I was sold. Done deal, I was on Team 1 Tree. But this theory isn't all about numbers. It's about God's plan for us in the garden. The tree, like the Torah, was meant to be a tool for connecting with God. The tree itself emitted God's breath. The fruit, that's where his divine knowledge of good and evil lay. We were meant to connect first to the tree, fall in love with just being with God, and learn to appreciate and respect that relationship before reaping the practical benefits that God had to offer. The tragedy is, this plan failed. Adam and Chava went for the fruit first, and seeing their lust for power, God got worried that the tree itself was next. What if they consumed it in a mad grab for immortality? So God kicked us out, and we lost access to everything, tree and fruit. Only maybe the story doesn't end there. Rabbi Foreman promised us last time that the tree returns. Now the question is where and when?
All right, Emo, time for us to get to that old cliffhanger there. Where else have we met the tree of life? And again, I'm not talking about metaphorically, but I'm talking about the actual vision as we last saw it. Does it ever appear again in the Bible? So in order to get our minds around that notion, let's just take account of the vision of the tree of life as we've last seen it in Eden.
In order to do that, Rabbi Foreman directed us to Genesis chapter 3, verses 23 and 24. That's where we find the last explicit description of the tree as Adam and Eve are exiled. Rabbi Foreman's plan was for us to carefully take note of exactly how the tree is described, so we can hunt for these specific details elsewhere in the Torah. But before we could even start reading, an intriguing parallel in these verses caught my eye and sparked an unexpected sidebar, and I know this will probably seem like a tangent right now, but it's going to end up playing an important part in our theory down the line. So hold on, enjoy the ride, and I promise we'll get back to the Tree of Life reappearing in just a few minutes.
So we're actually going to look at the very end of chapter 3, the last two verses of the expulsion from Eden, two of the most mysterious verses in the entire Torah. You have to read.
I never noticed this before.
Yeah, okay, so I'll read it and then you tell me what you never noticed. Vayishalcheu Hashem
Wait, hold
Elokim.
right there.
Go ahead.
For most of this podcast, we focused on Genesis 3, verse 22,
Yep.
where God is going to cast them out, pen yishlach yado,
Yep.
right? Lest he send out his hand and kind of violate the tree of life. But now here we're finally reading verse 23, and it begins, Vayishalcheu Hashem Elokim mi Gan Eden, which means God cast them out from Gan Eden. What I'm noticing is that the word here in verse 23 for casting out, Vayishalchehu, it has the same root as the word in verse 22 for send out, yishlach, as in yishlach yado, send out his hand.
Same verb.
Yeah, same verb, right? Perhaps God is afraid of them casting their hand on the tree, so God casts them out from the place of the trees.
Correct. That is fascinating, that it's the same verb. It's that God preemptively is casting them out of the garden, lest they cast their hand, right, and do something devastating.
Right. Velakach gam me'etz ha'chaim, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
And then he's cast out avodat hadama asher lukach misham.
I hadn't thought of that. That's beautiful. So what Imu is noticing is a confluence of two verbs in verse 22 and verse 23, right? In verse 22, Vata pen yishlach yado v'lakach, and lest man stretch forth his hand and take from the tree of life, right? And therefore, Vayishalcheu Hashem mi Gan Eden, God cast man out of Eden, lavot adama asher lukach misham, to work the land from which he was taken.
These verses seem to be responding to each other. God seems to be saying, hey, before you reach out and take my precious tree, I'm sending you out of here, back to where you came from. So that's a nifty little connection, but honestly, we could have left it on the cutting room floor. Except seeing this connection got Rabbi Foreman's wheels turning. And as he does, he noticed something. Not only are verse 22 and 23 responding to each other, they seem to be responding to an earlier verse as well, back in Genesis 2:15. This is a couple of verses after the creation of the garden. And look what we're told. Vayikach Hashem Elokim et Adam, and God took Adam, vayanichehu v'gan Eden le'ovda u'leshomra, and he placed him in Gan Eden, to guard and to serve. Do you hear anything familiar? So first of all, Vayikach Hashem, God takes Adam and places him in the garden. It's the same verb we saw before, kach, to take. And why was Adam taken and placed in the garden? Le'ovda u'leshomra.
Okay, sorry. I broke Terra Invicta somehow. Okay, there we go. Input works again. Okay, so back in TI, we're taking over the states. We're the only nation that has yet to put a base on the moon right now. Sucks to be us. Sucks a lot, but you know what? Fuck it. Lagrange points look good, and I know it doesn't matter in-game, but orbital maneuvers off of Lagrange points are fucking sick.
To work and to guard it. Now that word le'ovda, you may recognize that from 323 as well. There, we're told that Adam is being sent out of Eden la'avod et adama, to work the land. This time, land that's outside the garden. But it's the same job. Adam's punishment, being sent out of the garden to work the land from which he was taken, it seems to be a reverse of God's original plan, to take Adam and place him into the garden to work and serve the land there. Only notice one more thing. It's not a perfect reversal. Adam was meant to guard and work the land in Eden, but his exile only mentions working the land. Guarding is missing. Something isn't adding up. So what's going on? This question nudged Rabbi Foreman to take a closer look. Here's what he came to.
Weird balance, we're gonna take it.
If you think about it, God is making sort of a triage analysis, right? He's got to decide, like, oh my gosh, man was put in this garden to actually do something. He was there la'avda u'leshamra. He was there to serve the garden, to work it, and he was there to guard over the garden and to watch it. The tragedy is mankind, whose job it was to guard the tree of life, what is God's worried about? Who's going to attack the tree?
Yeah, man.
The guards.
The gardener.
Right? What if the gardener becomes the threat?
They can't be trusted in the garden anymore.
Right? And that, therefore, there is no other solution but banishment, which is really beautiful, even because, if you view it any other way, you think like, so man was banished from the garden out of punishment.
Go to your room.
No, we're banished from the garden because the whole point of you being in the garden was to protect the tree from those who would invade it. But now you've shown that you would be the invader. So
Ready for orders.
I actually can't trust you to do your job. Not only I can't trust you to do your job, you're the very potential threat that you were supposed to guard against. Getting back to the idea of triage, if we then look at this verse, let's read it one more time. God cast mankind out of the garden to work the land that he was taken from. In other words, it's like, look, I understand you're a worker of land. I just can't afford you to have you in the garden anymore. You're going to have to work different land, work the land from which you were taken. And what about the guarding? I for sure can't afford to have you guard this garden. You're the potential threat. And therefore, the next verse, verse 24, Vayigaresh et Adam, God casts man out of the garden and sets up, Vayashken mikenem leganen dat kruvim, sets up east of Eden the kruvim, these angels, with their mysterious at lahat achera mitapechet, with the flame of a revolving sword, lishmor et derech etzachaim, to guard the way back to the tree of life. There it is, to work and to guard.
Oh, wow.
Man's original purpose in the garden is coming back in these verses and is actually being divided up.
I'm going to move that mission
in a
slightly.
terrible act of triage.
So avoda, serving the land, that's still a human job, but it's got to happen elsewhere now, outside the garden. Meanwhile, inside the garden, no one would be working the land, but someone or something would still be guarding it.
That's the angels. They can perhaps keep it safe, so there can be another chance whereby man can be given access to the tree one more time.
And we're back to where our discussion began. But now the stakes felt higher. Exile cut us off from Eden, but it also left Eden without its gardener. And I wasn't sure what to make of these angels usurping us as guards, but it certainly made the image on the way out of Eden that much more vivid. And it was this image that Rabbi Foreman was interested in to begin with. Remember, he wanted us to get a good picture in our minds of what the tree looked like on the way out of Eden, so that we'd know exactly what we were looking out for in order to spot the tree's return.
We leave Eden and we cast over our shoulder. There's that famous painting of Adam and Eve leaving Eden and peering over their shoulders at the Kruvim, right? That's the last we see of the tree. Interesting, we don't really even see the tree, we just see the path to the tree. Maybe we glimpse the tree at the end of the path. We see angels, these mysterious angels. We see a flame, we see a sword. We see a sword that's mitapech, that's revolving or somehow double-edged in some way.
Upside down.
We don't quite know what that means, right? And that's the last we see. So Imu, the question I would say to you is, if you caught just a little narrow glimpse of this last moment, what would it actually look like to you?
I would see, again, just repeating the imagery, I probably would see angels. I'd see some sort of sword.
But if you saw it really far away, right, what are the most outstanding images that you would see?
Oh, you mean if I see that this whole thing from
See the
far
whole
away?
thing. Say you're 500 yards away, right? What would you see?
Fire, probably?
Probably fire, the tree, fire, maybe the angels with the sword if I got a little closer, right? So
Public
when
sentiment
else do we meet an image like
increases.
that? A fiery tree.
Oh, the burning bush.
It's
But it's a
burning
bush, it's not a tree.
So 1 second, so let's hold on. Let's first establish whether Foreman is entirely bonkers in this, right? Let's just, right? So I'm suggesting that the burning bush, what if the burning bush was the tree of life? If the burning bush was the tree of life, then as Moses gets closer, he sees fire, he sees the tree, right?
Oh my, there's an
And
angel there, right?
There's
Isn't
an
there
angel there. An angel jumps out of the bush.
There's an angel that talks to Moses that tells him to take off his...
Could you try again?
Siri,
Siri
thank
wants
you.
in on this conversation.
You're welcome.
It's the voice of the angel.
The voice of the angel. Let's read the verse. Let's go to Exodus for a moment. Why don't you start from chapter 3, verse
We'll
1.
be ready for new orders soon.
Okay, Moshe haya ro'eth tzon yitro chotno. Moses was
Okay,
shepherding
done.
the sheep of Jethro, his
Black sky.
father-in-law, Kohen Midian, who was the priest of Midian. Vayinhag et hatzon achar midbar. He led the sheep through the desert. Vayavo el har ha'elohim choreva. And he comes to the mountain of God in a place called Chorev. Vayiram malach Adonai elav blabat esh mitoch hasneh. An angel of God appears to him in labat esh, right? This flame of fire, mitoch hasneh, from the bush.
From inside the bush, from the middle of the bush. Does that remind you of anything in the Tree of Life, of anything? Where was the Tree of Life?
Betoch, right. It was Betoch.
It was Betoch in the middle of the garden. And here now the angel is Betoch in the middle of the bush.
Fascinating.
So here you have the fire, here you have the tree, and here you have the angel. But Emu's brain is saying, okay, Foreman, I get it, but a number of things.
If I'm gonna pick on you, I'll pick on you. Like,
pick on me.
Labat Esh is flame of fire, but it's not Lahat, which is the only fire we have there. It's a different word.
It's a different
Labat
word.
Lahat.
Right? Although we don't know the difference between Labat.
You're giving me a sneh is a bush. It's not an eitz.
A sneh is not. So one thing is, okay, Foreman, the Torah knows how to say a tree of life. It wasn't a sneh. It wasn't a bush. It was a tree. It can't be the tree of life. So good. That's one question. What else?
There is an angel in both places. It's not specified that it's a kruvim, but still, I'll give it to you. That is kind of intriguing to me.
But your problem is, how many angels were guarding the tree of life?
2 kruvim. Yeah.
So we're missing an angel.
Right. That's true.
We're down an angel.
He's slacking off.
Right. So we have a missing angel. We have one angel AWOL.
So clearly, this was not a slam dunk, but it was interesting. And while skepticism is valuable, and I dared mine, one thing Rabbi Foreman taught me well about this book like no other is that it's always worth taking a closer look. And there were some compelling things to see.
I'm going to read just a bit more because I see, Vayar, Vihine Hasne Boer Ba'esh, like Moses actually sees this bush that is burning. V'hasne inenu ukal, and cool. V'hasne inenu ukal. So that means that the bush.
What are you seeing there?
The bush was not consumed, but that word ukal, right, is the same word, right, as achal, as eaten, right? Which is exactly what's supposed to be for the tree. That it is supposed to be a tree that is einenu ukal, a tree that is not consumed.
And not the fruits. The tree itself is einenu ukal.
The tree itself. Right.
The bark of the tree is not being eaten. Why were we banished? Because what was God worried about?
We would eat the tree.
We would chop down the tree and eat it.
The fire's following the rules. Man doesn't follow the rules.
I need to name this satellite after somebody in chat. Not sorry. Hold on. Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
The fire is following the rules. Man didn't follow this. That's the whole point of the angels. The angels were supposed to follow the rules because we couldn't be trusted to follow this. We couldn't be trusted not to eat the tree, but the angels could be trusted to take their fire, which is a really dangerous thing, and to not eat the tree. Come here with your fire. Fire, are you crazy? Look, I'm an angel. I know. I'm not going to destroy the tree, God. Trust me. So here's these angels with their fire, and the tree itself was not being eaten, consumed.
These angels, first they steal our job, then they upstage us on the listening to God front. I was liking them less and less, but I was liking this theory more and more.
I like the fact that Moshe is not here yet, right? He sees this a ways away, right? He says, Moshe asura na ve'ereh. I'm gonna actually turn to go look at this, right? And here he's actually gonna gaze first. And
how are you supposed to relate to the tree of life?
Right, nechmad lemar'eh first. You gotta actually see it.
Nechmad lemar'eh. And the first thing that happens, he's entranced by a wondrous sight. He's going to see it.
Mm-hmm. You once taught me this in a totally different context, but it means something else now. We do a Hanukkah course about this. Verse 4, Vayar Hashem ki sar lirot. And that God saw that Moses actually turned to seed. And you pointed out that God had some sort of test here, right? That Moshe.
Hold on. I thought, yeah, lossless scaling is trying to run by force, so, like, not anymore. Y'all? Is my computer eating itself? Oh, not anymore. Well, that would be why. That definitely makes sense. I know why. Never mind. I know why. I know why it's doing it. Fixed. Oh shit. No, it's not. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna say fixed again once more, and it'll be fixed. Okay, got it. Sorry. It was network file transfer, kind of eating itself.
Could Moshe even notice that there's something incredible here, right? If you were walking around in the desert and you saw a bush on fire, nobody would really, it's not a huge miracle.
How sensitive are you to the majesty of what's happening?
Right. Well, so here it's actually, God is impressed that Moshe is, he's stopping to smell the roses. He's actually nechmad lemar'eh.
Exactly. He's impressed with the subtle majesty of the sight. That's how you were supposed to begin to relate to that tree, right? Don't start thinking about what you could do with it. Just think about, that's an amazing thing.
By the way, I actually also hadn't noticed this as to the names of God, right? So, Vayar Yud Kei Vav Kei Kisar Lirot. Yud Kei Vav Kei, who you would argue is the aspect of God that is Nechmad Lemar'eh, right? That he is taken, that Moshe is looking, but then Vayikra Elav Elohim mitoch hasneh. In the same pasuk, it is not Yud Kei Vav Kei who talks; it's now Elohim who is speaking to Moses. Vayomer Moshe.
So 1 second. So slow down for a minute. So just to roadmap a little bit for everybody. So we're excitedly going through this text and looking at the implications, which seem to be many and manifold. But let's just understand that this is still an unproven theory, right? It's a theory that maybe when Moses sees a fiery bush, he's looking at the tree of life as we last saw it. We have a number of unresolved questions that we haven't dealt with. Why is it a bush and not a tree? Where's the rest of the garden? It's the desert. How come we only meet one of two angels? For that matter, where's the sword? But other things are starting to fall into place, right? It still is this fiery bush. There still is this angel. What if that angel is one of the Kruvim? It's Betoch, that the tree was in the midst of the garden, right? The way that you're supposed to relate to the tree is through sight. Moses is relating through it to sight. He's understanding the subtlety of it, right? So all of that is falling into place. And the other thing that Emu has just noticed is that the names of God are tantalizingly mysterious all of a sudden.
Will restore peace to this nation.
I thought God's name switching was interesting, but tantalizingly mysterious? Rabbi Foreman was seeing something that I wasn't, and thankfully, he soon took me down the rabbit hole with him. We were about to switch gears from gathering evidence to support the possibility that the tree was the burning bush, to understanding what that meant. And it all began with going back to the garden to take a closer look at how God's names showed up
I really
there.
shouldn't have orbited this one first. Honestly, I should just keep them in the States for
the tree of life?
Who was it that
priority
banished
bump.
us?
Take a look at the
I'll
end
just
of
do
chapter
that.
3.
I feel dumb. We'll just do orbit their
It
ass.
seems like it's
Fuck
both.
it.
Exactly.
For
It is
science.
both. Hashem Elohim, Yud Kei Vav Kei Elohim. Now, here's the fascinating thing. Turns out that Yud Kei Vav Kei Elohim is a very unusual way of referring to God. Throughout the Torah, God is almost never referred to as Yud Kei Vav Kei Elohim. There's one or two exceptions to it, but the real exception to it is one chapter in the Torah where 19 times God is referred to as Yud Kei Vav Kei Elohim. And that is the Garden of Eden story. What are we to make of that mystery? Now, I don't know for sure, but I'll give you my theory. The garden is God's place in this world. So in God's place in this world, the reality of God as Hashem Elohim is manifest. But everywhere else out of the garden, human beings tend to view God almost as one and not the other.
This goes back to the idea we talked about in earlier episodes, that God's names, Yud Kei Vav Kei and Elohim, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, are a duality masking a unity. They each represent an apparent side of God, but ultimately, the division is false. God is one. But now, Rabbi Foreman was adding that maybe in the garden, God's oneness was more on display than we experience it day to day. And that's why God isn't just Yud-K Vav-K in creation story number 2, i.e. the garden story, but Yud-K Vav-K Elohim, both names together. So what does this have to do with God's names at the burning bush? Rabbi Foreman was getting there. He just had one small but powerful point to add about God's manifest unity in Eden. And that was to remind me, we rejected it.
Cleaning things up.
When we take from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, God says, Hein haya ha'adam ka'achad mimenu ladat tov v'ra. Now mankind has become like only one of us, is how I would read it. You've taken the Elohim aspect and said that's the only thing that matters. And therefore you need to be driven from the garden because you haven't related to the tree of life aspect of the tree properly.
It's almost like the ability to see the Yud-K Vav-K side of God was left behind in Eden with the tree. Until
The evangelicals in the southern United States are supporting us? Ooh.
drum roll, please.
Now, if we're really right, Emu, that the story of the burning bush is the reintroduction of the tree of life into the world, isn't it interesting that all of a sudden the two names of God are going back and forth with each other?
Yeah, it's not quite Yud-K Vav-K Elohim like in the garden, but it's kind of like moving towards Yud-K Vav-K Elohim. Like alarm bells going off. I'm not just Elohim.
Right? In other words, it seems to be a reintroduction of the Yud-K Vav-K name of God, right? It seems as if God is revealing this name.
What Rabbi Foreman was suggesting is that it wasn't just the tree imagery from Eden coming back at the bush, like some kind of agrarian party trick. The tree's return was part of something bigger. Somehow, our ability to know God as Yud-K Vav-K was returning as well, which makes the burning bush a huge milestone in human history over and above its obvious significance in the Exodus story. It's a bold argument, though, to hang on a little name switch in one verse, especially since it's kind of weird to say that Yud-K Vav-K needs to make a reintroduction at all. Yud-K Vav-K doesn't disappear after the exile from Eden like the tree does. God's referred to as Yud-K Vav-K all over Genesis. So what was Rabbi Foreman thinking? Well, for one, he was thinking about a lot more than my one little noticing about God's name switching. If you're familiar with Rabbi Foreman's book, The Exodus You Almost Passed Over, you may remember he makes a similar argument there. We're not going to rehash all the evidence from the book. If you'd like to read it, there's a link in the description. But let's start with one important verse. This is Exodus 6:3. Things aren't going so well in Egypt, and God is reassuring Moses. He cryptically says, Va'ira el Avraham el Yitzchak ve'el Yaakov bekel Shakai. I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as the name Kel Shakai. Ushmi Yud-K Vav-K, Ushmi Hashem, lo nodati lahem. But I did not make myself known to them by my name Yud-K Vav-K. Interesting. So you see where Rabbi Foreman is coming from? Somehow, despite all the evidence to the contrary in Genesis, God himself is telling Moses that the forefathers didn't know him as Yud-K Vav-K, which means that the name Yud-K Vav-K must have been shared with us sometime later. And Rabbi Foreman's argument is that if you read the burning bush story carefully, it seems pretty clear that this is the spot where that big reveal took place.
I would argue that if you look carefully, the story of the revelation of Yud-K Vav-K is the story of the burning bush. Remember that moment where Moshe says, God, what's your name? Tell me your name. So remember how God is like caught off guard? And it's like, what, my name? Like, I am what I am. Don't ask me my name. Like, what kind of name is that? So God like fumbers around. It's like God actually has three answers. First, his answer is, Ehyeh asher ehyeh, right? And then his answer is, well, just tell him, Ehyeh shlachani aleichem, I am something. And then he says, you know what, I have an idea. Tell them this, the third attempt. Yud-K Vav-K, Elokei avotechem shlachani aleichem. Yud-He and Vav-He, the God of their forefathers, sent me to you. Zeh shmi la'olam. That's my name forever. V'zeh zichri l'dor dor. And this is how I always want to be remembered, by Yud-K Vav-K. Maybe that'll be my name. I'll be with you, God. Not just the God of being. It's the God of being with, the God of empathy, the God of love, the God of connection.
The God of the tree of life.
the main point I'm making is that the name is actually constructed, right? It's literally God is involved in a branding exercise. Moshe says, like, I need a name for you. And God is like, really? A name? That's how you human beings work? Like, I am who I am. Here's my quality that's really important. It's not really a name, but it's a quality. I'll be with you the way I am with you. I'm always with you. And then God says, you know what? I bet we can construct a name out of that. Let's take this idea of being with, and let's make a name out of it. How about Yud He and Vav He?
Hunkering down.
It's kind of like Haya, being in past. It's kind of like Hoveh, being in present. It's kind of like Yihiyah, being in the future. But it's all of them together. God says, that's a good brand name. And Moshe is like, no, that's not a word. And God is like, I didn't say it was a word, it's a brand. Right? You know what I mean? You get it? It's got this double entendre. It means like being without reference to time. Just tell him Yud He Vav He sent them to you. That's who I'll be. Once Yud He Vav He gets revealed, so then later on when the Torah is given at Sinai, when God writes the Torah and says, Moses, here's the Torah, he includes Yud He and Vav He.
Wow, so you're saying that sort of this is ground zero. This is ground zero for Yud Ke Vav Ke. It gets invented here.
Exactly. It's the revelation of the with you God, of the Yud He and Vav He God, this thing that was forgotten since the times of Eden. Abraham began to access Yud He and Vav He. He began to intuit that God was kind of this. Vayikra b'shem Hashem. He called out in the name of Yud He and Vav He, was beginning to introduce this back into the world. But this is where God's name comes, and it's like, here's my revelation. This is really who I am.
Just to make this crystal clear, what God invented or revealed at the burning bush was literally the word Yud Ke Vav Ke. That word is then used throughout Torah kind of anachronistically, including in the garden. Meaning, even Adam and Chava possibly weren't using this name to describe the unique connection to Yud Ke Vav Ke that the tree let them experience. But at least they had the tree. Outside of the garden, when Yud Ke Vav Ke is used, it means God is acting from this side of him. And maybe the foreparents had a sense of that. But pre-burning bush, there was no precise divine name for human beings to use to express that. So it's not that Yud Ke Vav Ke comes back at the burning bush. He was always there, but it's our full awareness of Yud Ke Vav Ke that's coming back. Of course, that kind of access to Yud Ke Vav Ke is what the Tree of Life offers us as well. Just to throw in my own 2 cents, it's kind of like the tree offers experiential access and the name offers cognitive access. So pretty cool that both of these are showing up at the burning bush. But the question is, why now?
How does this relate to the banishment from Eden? Like, let's ask this question. Okay, if you're really right that the burning bush is the next time we meet the tree of life, so you'd say, like, why the burning bush? How come I didn't meet the tree of life in Jacob's ladder? How come I didn't meet the tree of life when Joseph was taken out of the pit? The answer is, we were expelled from Eden because, in God's words, Hein haya ha'adam ka'achad mimenu ladat tov v'ra. Mankind was like only one of us. He's not willing to see me as a whole. It's only me as a judge, as an evaluator that he's interested in. And if he enthrones Elohim at the expense of Yud Ke Vav Ke, he's going to destroy the tree. I need to save this tree to when mankind can begin to relate to all of me, to when I can finally reveal Yud Ke Vav Ke as the rest of who I am, which happens at the burning bush. Welcome to the Tree of Life, Part 2. The Tree of Life is coming back into man's history, because what journey is beginning at the burning bush?
The journey to Sinai.
The journey to Sinai.
Which happens here, right? Happens at Chorev.
Happens at Chorev. You know, Emu, one of the problems we had is that there was no sword. There was an angel. There was fire. Where's the sword?
The Cherev, the sword becomes Chorev. It becomes a mountain.
The mountain's whole name is Chet Reish Beit. Chorev just happens to be spelled the same as Cherev, the sword. There's the missing sword.
In what sense is it mitapechet? Right?
Unity and knowledge.
That is the great question.
Okay.
If it's really true that Sinai, that Chorev is the sword, so in what sense is it mitapechet? Right? What about the mountain would be double-edged. So before we get to the revolving aspect of it, I'll get to that in a moment. Let me ask you another question. Let's come back to why it's a bush and not a tree. And what happened to the rest of the garden?
Because the tree is sad.
Why would the tree be sad?
Wait, you're serious?
I'm serious.
Why is the tree sad? Maybe nobody is ovdoing and shomroing it? Maybe...
Whoa, slow down. Go back to the garden. When's the last we left the tree? Go back to the triage in the garden. What did God have to do to keep the tree safe?
He needed to protect it, but no one's there to work it.
If no one was there to work it over the ages, what would happen to the tree?
Maybe it would erode.
Yeah, what would it look like?
A sad bush.
Got it.
It would look like a sad bush. It would be protected, wouldn't have anyone destroying it, but no one's working it. Well, if you never had any gardeners, and the only thing they were focused on was this one tree, all the other trees would fall away. There wouldn't be a garden anymore, there would be a desert. And all there would be is one little sagging bush that's never been watered, that's just this prickly little thing in the desert, but it's at least being guarded with this fire. That's the burning bush. It's the decomposition of the tree of life over time. God's word has not been taken care of. The angels are great at playing defense for the tree, but there's no one nurturing the tree. Hence, it's a bush in a desert.
So we haven't gone full America first in this save. We've gone full Kazakhstan and America first. Kazakhstan and America only. I think that's adorable, so we're going to keep doing it.
It's the garden, except the garden's all gone.
That's so creepy.
Yes, this is the garden. It's this barren, craggy mountaintop that hasn't been worked, with what's one little sad bush. It's the tree of life.
It's really interesting because the angel does his job. All he does is guard it. So I was reading, right, in verse 5, he goes, Al tikrav halom, right? Don't get close, right? That's his job. Like,
That's his job.
Stay back. And then he says, Shal na'alecha me'al raglecha, take off your shoe from your foot. Ki hamakom asher ata omed alav admat kodeshi.
For the place on which you stand is holy ground.
Admat kodesh, right? The Adama shows back up. The last time the angel showed up, it was right after God had said that he had to cast him out, la'avod et Adama, to work the land.
So understand that you're no longer on that kind of land. You're on not on people land, you're on God land now, because you're back in the garden.
Maybe that, and maybe even more. He's called Adam. He's taken from Adama, but he sort of rises up beyond Adama, and doesn't remember his symbiotic relationship with Adama.
Oh, fascinating. So you're actually advocating. That's something, as I never understood the answer to that. Why, if it's holy ground, do you have to take off your shoes?
Yeah.
And you're really providing an answer. In other words, because the value of Yud Hey Vav Hey would be connect to your source. Well, I'm not your only source. I'm the source for your soul. Where does your body come from? Your body comes from the ground. So, do you care about your source or not? Right. If you're going to connect to me because this is the tree of life and it's God's word, you've also got to connect to the ground. Can't connect to one source without the other.
The angel's mock pit. It's sort of God's telling the angels, hey, remember I've been telling you to keep these men folk away from the garden the whole time? He's learned his lesson. I'm going to let him back in. And the angel's there and he's like, why is he wearing shoes? Take off your shoes. Right?
Right. If you were someone who cared about their source, what are you wearing shoes? Right. You want to connect to your source or not?
Right.
So that's beautiful. I never thought about that.
You're back in Eden. You want to come back to Eden, right? You got to connect the same way the creatures of the earth would connect. But I only would have seen that only with your suggestion that it's Eden. That's creepy. It's a creepy notion just to think of this as Eden, and it's such a sad notion. Then it's this mountain and a desert.
Right, and it's almost like Eden is not a place. It's transportable. Somehow it's God's world in this world, wherever God puts it, with its tree of life in it.
I had been wondering, were we supposed to believe that the Sinai desert was Eden? But the point isn't Eden the place. It's Eden as an opportunity. We'd seen how that opportunity opened up at the burning bush. But now Rabbi Foreman was ready to expand the story, all the way to Sinai.
Let me ask you a question, Emu. Did it ever strike you as strange that the Torah was given at Sinai, of all places, in the middle of the desert, long before Israel made it into the land? Like, when are you going to do the commandments? When you get in the land, that's when it's going to become practical. So right at the end of the Torah, when Moses is there, it should have been, okay, hold up, guys, before you go into the land, there's some rules, right? Why does it happen in the desert, with all this time in the desert, where we can't really implement the rules, right? I wonder if our first exposure to Torah had to be when it was only theoretical, when there wasn't the utilitarian.
Fascinating. The Torah wasn't given tov l'ma'achal first, with the fruits first. It's given the tree first. It's actually given in non-applicability, so you can just hear the voice and appreciate your creator and relate to him.
Exactly. You can't really do it yet. The wonder of the revelation, the wonder of connection is all it's about.
That's really cool. So it's almost like the desert experience is the womb for the reintroduction of the tree to Israel, where you couldn't even eat the fruits. It's almost like the tree didn't yet bear fruits.
Yep. Which is why, look at the burning bush. Did anyone say anything about fruits on the bush?
No. It's back into primordial form.
Right. It's just like, here, you got to help it. You got to help it grow fruits. You got to help it, right? And then somehow, like, if you get into the land, then there would be fruits, whatever. But we're not up to that yet. It's just this first sort of revelation. And then what's fascinating is, like, if you look at in Deuteronomy, Moses tells to the people how important Sinai was. He says, always remember and teach your children about Sinai. But when he explains to them what was important about it, he doesn't say, teach them about the day that you learned the Torah. Teach them about the day that you learned about Tov and Ra and about all these mitzvos. Teach them about Yom Asher Amadata Lifnei Hashem Elokecha B'Chorev. Teach them at the day that you stood in God's presence at Chorev. That's all you have to teach them. Beautiful. Teach them about just being there with God.
Beautiful. This should be like the inspirational keynote event of an educators conference, right? Like, don't get so fancy of the things you need your kids to know. Just teach them about that day where you stood in Chorev.
That's the first thing they need to know. Just help them understand how wondrous that was.
It's the same plan we saw in Eden. Connect to God, tree first, fruit second. Only here, in case you missed it, there is one little difference. Well, maybe not so little. The tree has been replaced by the Torah. Sinai is a second chance at what we might have had in Eden, but it's not an exact replica of that experience. It's Revelation 2.0. The Torah, not the tree, is going to be our lifeline to God now. And maybe that's why we need the tree imagery coming back at the burning bush. It's the keystone clue, the big indicator that though Chorev, this desert, may not look like Eden, what's happening here is a variation on a theme. Just like in the garden, we're meant to connect with God as Yud-Keh Vav-Keh first, as Elohim second. And Rabbi Foreman saw even more nuanced and tragic similarities between Sinai and Eden than that.
You know, it's interesting that at Chorev, the first thing the angel says is keep away, right? Don't get too close. What does that remind you of back in Eden? Our very first command was, here's all these trees, but stay away. And that's one value that you have proper respect. But then once Moshe stays away, what's God's message to him over and over again? The Yud-Keh Vav-Keh message. Moshe, you're stressed? I'm right there with you. The people are stressed. Tell them I understand. I'm with them. I'm with them. I'm with them. And that's the tension. The tension is respect, distance, but connection, right?
I am going to make them inspire each other this run. I am making my two people running Inspire missions inspire each other because I haven't inspired them nearly enough, so they're going to inspire each other. Yes, indeed.
Connected distance, respectful love, right? And that's what's happening at the burning bush. And I want to suggest it's happening at Sinai too. If you go to Sinai, God tells Moses, tell them not to touch the mountain. If they touch the mountain, it's very dangerous. Can't touch the mountain. They have to have proper respect touching the mountain because it's like it's a tree of life story all over again. And what happens? If you go actually into Exodus 19 and you read what happens, there's a strange little verse there. Look at this little verse, 19:13.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, anybody who touches the mountain will die. Don't touch it. Bimshoch hayovel, but at the shofar blast, Hema Ya'alu Bahar. Everyone goes up the mountain. What was supposed to happen at Sinai?
They were supposed to go up the mountain.
everyone was supposed to go up the mountain. Then look in Deuteronomy, right? In Deuteronomy 5, Moses 40 years later recounts this. It's so sad. Read chapter 5. God made a covenant with us. Ki itanu anachnu ela po hayom. He made it with all of us. Kulanu chayim. All of us are alive. And then listen to what he said. Panim bepanim diber Hashem imachem bahar mitoch ha'esh. God spoke with us all, face to face, mitoch ha'esh, in the midst of the fire. But then, Anochi omed bein Hashem u'beinechem. I stood between you, lahagid lachem et dvarathem, to tell you about the word of God. But you know why I stood between you that day? Ki aretem mipnei ha'esh, because you were too afraid of the fire. Velo alitem bahar, and you never went up the mountain. You never embraced the tree of life. This was a tree of life moment. This was a moment where you were supposed to just have that experience of panim. Look at these words. Panim bepanim diber Hashem imachem. God was speaking to you face to face, but you wouldn't do it because you were afraid. So you said, Moses, you stand there between us. We can't have this connection to the loving God. And then look what happens. 5:19. God spoke all of these words
To the whole congregation from the midst of the fire.
Tanan varafel, kol gadol, the voice, not just the words. Forget the words, the ideas, just the voice, velo yasaf, an infinite voice.
In episode 2, we talked about how God's voice is a source of God's breath. At Sinai, we had the opportunity to just listen to this voice, to breathe in God again. But jump to 5:24, and the people say to Moses,
Krava ataushma, you listen at kol asher yamar Elokeinu. You listen to everything God's saying. We can't connect with God. We can't go up the mountain. Va'at tadaber aleinu, and you tell us at kol asher yidaber Elokeinu, everything that God says. V'shamanu v'asinu. You tell us about it so that we can do it. What part of the Torah do they want? They want what they can do. They want tachlis. Tell us the laws. This connection with God, we're not made for that kind of thing. They fail to embrace the tree of life. And what happens at the end is Moses dies as lo kam navi od. There's no other prophet who ever saw God panim el panim, face to face. But isn't it fascinating that Moses said, God wanted you up the mountain, and panim bepanim dibir Hashem imachem. God was speaking to you all face to face, but you wouldn't go up the mountain. So in the end, I became the only one. But that was supposed to be you all. This time, it wasn't that they grabbed for the tree of knowledge, but that there was a withholding of embracing the tree of life. And now the question is, well, where does that take us, right? Where does that possibly go? So what I would just say to conclude is the fascinating thing about Chorev, you asked, where's the Cherev HaMitapecha? The algebra would suggest that if on some level the mountain is Chorev, is the sword, and this really is the tree of life, the sword would have to be mitapech. Imu, how is the sword mitapech? Let's say you were holding a sword for me, right? And I was looking at the business end of a sword, right? So I'd be like really scared, right? But what if I got close to you and I was inside the perimeter of the sword? I was looking at the same sword. What if the sword never changes, but our perspective changes depending on where we are? If you're outside the perimeter, the angels are keeping you out. If you're inside, the angels are holding you in. What I want to argue is
expensive. That org is
the
hella
Cherev HaMitapechet
expensive.
wasn't a new thing. It was the nature of the tree that there would be a Cherev HaMitapechet. The whole idea that you have to be careful with this tree because you need to respect it. But if you respect it, you could draw close and be nurtured by it and love it. Loving respect is Cherev HaMitapechet. Keep your distance. Now draw close. Moses, keep your distance. Take your shoes off. Be very careful. Don't come close. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. What God was saying was these angels will have a sword, but the fact that it is a reversible sword means that the consolation prize, humans, is that you're not banished forever.
It's actually really interesting that you see the mountain. The mountain is the cherev, right, as a sword. I wonder why. I have to meditate on that as to, they're both pointy. So that makes sense. But in what sense, like I could see a mountain dividing, swords divide. You can't go here, but in some sense.
No, it's in time. It's first stay away. It's not place, it's time. God said, first establish respect. Do you respect me? Then you can love me. Stay away from that tree, right? Stay away from that tree. Now embrace the tree. Then you can eat its fruits. But first, show me that you can stay away. It's always, whenever you have a tree of life, it's always stay away, then draw close.
No, I understand that. I understand the symbolism. I'm trying to, algebraically, I'm just trying to understand, why is the sword the mountain? Is there a more elegant connection?
How come the sword becomes the mountain?
I get that the effect is the same, but I'm trying to understand why does the sword become a mountain?
Yeah, I don't have an answer to that.
Well, that was an anticlimactic moment. What Rabbi Foreman was saying was beautiful from the telescope view. Big picture, Rabbi Foreman was seeing the tree in Eden and receiving the Torah at Sinai as two versions of the same thing. Gifts that, when approached and used properly, would help us develop a full and mature relationship with God. In both cases, this relationship began with a Yud-Keh-Vav-Keh connection. In the garden, we were meant to just behold the tree of life. And at Sinai, we were meant to just hear God's voice, never mind the words. But also in both cases, this Yud-Keh-Vav-Keh connection came hand in hand with a specific restraint. Don't eat the fruit. Don't touch the mountain. This stay away stage was meant to lace our love with respect. Only when love and respect were both formed could we move on to the next stage, the stage of come close. In the garden, if we'd only been patient, we would have been allowed to eat the fruit. And at Sinai, it seems we did make it to the second stage. And it wasn't God's fruit, God's wisdom that was suddenly allowed, but something even more precious, the possibility to meet God face to face, to have the fullest experience of Yud-Keh-Vav-Keh we could ever imagine. Only we shunned that offer. We still just wanted the fruit, the practical knowledge. It's so tragic, if not for the sliver of hope the Cherev HaMitapechet brings, that the opportunity to come close will come around again. So that's the telescope view. But does it add up? Looking through the magnifying glass, the sword turning into a mountain was clumsy and inelegant. And remember, there was only one angel at the burning bush, not two. So I couldn't help feeling like something was missing. Turns out, that's because it was.
So for next time, the next mysteries I have to figure out is, if this theory is true, how come there's only a mountain that represents a sword instead of a physical sword? How come there's only one angel? Where's the other one? So I believe that the Torah gives us answers to both of those questions. It turns out there's another burning bush story. And if we can find the other burning bush story, we'll see the missing elements of this one. If you put them both together, we arrive at Eden. So we've only seen half the story. Next time, and come back, we'll try and discover the other half.
Excellent. Thank you. Awesome. I got to run because my kids are popping into my room. This was a lot of fun.
Good talking to you.
I'm going to say goodbye to Rabbi Foreman.
Hi, bye.
Chavrusa sessions with Rabbi Foreman can leave me
That was cute.
anxious, elated,
The whole family
inspired.
said hello.
This one left me
That's
pensive.
adorable.
Putting aside the fact that we only have half the story, let's say the theory is right. We failed.
My expertise.
Again. Okay, maybe this time we did a little better. In the garden, we fail in the stay away stage. At Sinai, it's in the come close stage. And look, God still gave us the Torah. He wasn't afraid we'd eat that. So, progress. But still, how could anyone have turned down the opportunity to rush that mountain? Of course, what I'm really asking is, would I have? I want to say no, I wouldn't have turned it down. But I don't know. The tree of life, hanging out with God, it sounds so easy, so attractive. So why isn't it? What do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts on this or any part of the episode. There's a link in the description you can use to leave us a message, and I, for one, can't wait to hear your voice for a change. Meanwhile, next time on A Book Like No Other, the tree returns again. But this time, it's not just a sad bush. This time, the tree bears fruits, and our story finds its second half. You don't want to miss it, so make sure to subscribe. And hey, while you're at it, please share with a friend. If you liked it, maybe they will too. A Book Like No Other is a product of Aleph Beta, a nonprofit dedicated to helping people fall in love with Torah. Visit alephbeta.org for hundreds of more deep dive audios and beautifully animated videos on nearly every biblical text. If you're enjoying this podcast, I hope you'll find a lot there that speaks to you. This episode was recorded by Rabbi David Foreman and me, Imu Shalev. It was edited by Tikva Hecht with additional edits by Evan Wiener. Audio editing was done by Hilary Gutman. A Book Like No Other's senior editor is Tikva Hecht. Adina Blaustein keeps
Got
all
our
the parts
priorities
moving.
cleaned. A bit. The servants were taking over for a teensy bit, so us reclaiming that's kind of a W. Like, severely, bro. Bro. This is
Hi,
my
Imu
practice
here
shutting
again.
up.
Welcome to
I
this
barely know how to
special
do
bonus
that.
episode of A Book Like No Other. If you're itching to know where the tree shows up next, sorry, you're still gonna have to wait. But if going deeper into some of the ideas from our last episode sounds fun to you, then please keep listening. So, after we recorded the last episode, something was really bothering me. Rabbi Foreman was saying that the tree of life could grant immortality, but the real gift of the tree was enhanced quality of life, which is a beautiful idea. But what was bothering me was, how does that map onto Torah? Torah does promise us long life, arichut yamim, for following certain commandments. But why are we getting promised the very thing that God was kicking us out of the garden for wanting? After thinking about this a bit, I had a budding theory, which I shared with Rabbi Foreman.
Hey everybody, this is Rabbi David Foreman. I am back with Imu Shalev. Imu, you there?
Yeah, I was musing with the implication of, it seems pretty clear, just factually in the Torah, that if you ate from this tree, you would live forever. And God doesn't let that happen. That's actually a bad consequence, and so he kicks men out. But if we talk about the Torah as being an Eitz Chaim Hila Machazikim Ba.
Okay, the sanctions that I imposed on Russia in-game make sense. They just tested an anti-satellite weapon. And that would put debris in orbit in a very dangerous way, in a very chaotic way. So me imposing sanctions when we're trying to hit Ad Astra makes the absolute most of sense based upon my policy decisions thus far to support in situ resource utilization and the transplanetary human species. So,
Right? So you had asked me this question weeks ago. You said, Imu, why is it?
How do we feel about
okay, we're gonna go back to all things China with Lou because the channel's been fucking killing it. And it's funny to laugh, and I want to make a sandwich. I'm not being funny, but I am funny, so I can't really help this. I want to make a sandwich, so I'm gonna get up and make a sandwich soon. And I swear I'm not just being a little jokester. Or maybe I am, I don't fucking know. I want to get up and make a sandwich, so apparently I'm going to be on less time today than most times, because I legitimately want to go make a melt with a little plant-based patty, some little plant-based cheese and Hawaiian bread on it, with lovingly hand-sliced pickles, because I go hard like that, and I'm craving it, and I keep wanting it, and I can't help myself. It sounds like it'll be good.
Taiwan, Hassan?
One country, two systems,
No, it's not. It's two different countries.
There's one thing I learned from my years growing up in China, and that is language is the first tool of power. Modern autocrats rarely lead with force anymore. They lead with words, and not emotional words, but words that are deliberately dull, neutral, technical, or unthreatening. Take the word reunification as an
Taiwan, Hassan.
One country, two systems, you know?
No, it's not. It's two different countries.
There's one thing I learned from my years growing up in China, and that is language is the first tool of power. Modern autocrats rarely lead with force anymore. They lead with words, and not emotional words, but words that are deliberately dull, neutral, technical, or unthreatening. Take the word reunification as an example. It is not an accident that you often see these Chinese diplomats use this word whenever they talk about Taiwan. This word sounds neutral, even positive in some contexts. But the Chinese Communist Party used this word to disguise their true ideology and intention, and that is a potential annexation of Taiwan. This kind of linguistic framing has been extremely effective, so much so that it has brought millions of Chinese people on board with ideas that they otherwise would have rejected. That is why today I want to take a closer look at what Hassan Piker said about China, and more importantly, how is he saying it?
So you think the Chinese Communist Party would allow criticism of them if they were the dominant country in the world?
I think with respect to where they were in terms of the most maximalist position is the Cultural Revolution, right? If you look at the Cultural Revolution versus where China is now in terms of dissent, it's in comparison to the United States of America, yes, there's still heavy control over that sort of stuff. There's a lot of surveillance. Having said that, it has become far more tolerant as material conditions have improved. And that's my main thesis, is that countries, regardless of their individual forms of governance, as long as they are advancing the material needs of the broadest subset of the masses, will and become like a domineering force on their own and have full sovereignty and full autonomy, they will inevitably become more tolerant to this kind of freedom.
When I heard Hassan insinuating that when China has more sovereignty, more autonomy, it would give its citizens more freedom, I knew something was off there. The subtle message that somehow China doesn't have those two things yet just sounds awfully familiar to me, because that's exactly what my teacher said when I was a student in China. He repeats all the dog whistles used by these technocrats or dictators. Words like sovereignty, words like multipolarity. We want a more multipolarized world. It sounds so neutral. It sounds so fair.
Slated to overtake America in a multipolar world.
That's not what they mean. When Russia says we want a multipolarized world, they mean they don't want a rule-based order anymore. They don't want a world where democracy leads. They want authoritarianism. That's the diverse.
We have just made it to where Russia can't start a war with us because we're now allied with Kazakhstan and we're in the fucking Federation. Oh shit,
element
yes, bro.
in this that's what's multi about it. I mean, look at what they've done to Ukraine. Do we really want a multipolarized world like that, where an authoritarian regime has so much power that they could just take a country that doesn't have as much force as they do? Is that what we really want? When they say sovereignty, they mean don't interfere with our oppression of our own people. They don't want you to criticize their human rights misconduct. They don't want you to pay attention to the Uyghur that are suffering right now in the re-education camp in Xinjiang, because they say it's sovereignty. It is not. It's human decency. Why do people, for the life of me, I do not understand.
We're still going to maintain.
How does someone like Hassan
We are going to hit this auto abandon.
Got so brainwashed.
Too shy.
I understand if he was born in China and they were subject to that. They had no choice. They had an internet firewall. But what happened to people like him?
How do we feel about Taiwan, Hassan? China?
I feel like people should... how do I feel about Taiwan? Everybody, please give them a fucking well-deserved hug for the nonsense, abuse, and mistreatment.
Or not
Taiwan?
China. Or is it China?
Like, just go to the government in Taiwan and just free hugs.
Not China. You really won't say?
No, I'm saying it's like one country, two systems, you know?
No, it's not. It's two different countries.
Really?
I'm hardly the first or the only person who noticed the overuse of the word multipolarity. One of my favorite books on authoritarianism, Autocracy Inc., the author also made the same observation based on her extensive years working as a reporter, reporting on autocrats in Europe.
But when you are getting the poorest of the dispossessed masses out of a situation where they were servile, the landed gentry, or they were peasants from an agrarian society, or they were dominated by the landlords, but then ultimately they were able to come into modernity and become like a powerhouse, an industrial powerhouse that is competitive with the largest superpower on the planet.
The way that the Chinese Communist Party was able to supposedly free all the peasants from their evil landlord is through land reform. That is the infamous revolution that killed, by estimation of historians, 1 to 2 million people in China. It did not give us prosperity. We died. They publicly executed the landlords and confiscated by force their properties. And that's how they liberated the peasants. And guess what? Those peasants didn't own those lands anyways. Even right now here, if you want to purchase a piece of land in China, you can only own it for like a certain period of time. You don't have the ownership. The state, the government owns it. They can take that away from you if they want at any given time.
Communist country. Would you say China is a communist country?
It's a mixed country. It has some elements of communism, but it's also got a lot of capitalism,
Yeah,
right?
it's a mixed market economy is what you're saying, right? But so is the United States of America if you look at it from that perspective. Because America also has some semblance of social safety nets. The UK also has some social safety nets, state-run enterprises, especially pre-Margaret Thatcher, I would say, versus private enterprises as well. Venezuela at its peak, I think, had more privatization and more private enterprise in its economy.
The point is not whether it has a mixture or not. The point is when we have state-controlled organizations, everything is under a legal binding. It is not a facade. It is real. If the government wants to do something, they have to do so following the law. In China, however, the mixture was only temporary and is not protected by law because it's not a law-binding society. That is why the owner of Alibaba, Ma Yun, lost his company shares overnight. So many billionaires fled the country because they know this mixture economy can go away at any given time because it is not built on an agreement by the people of China. It is built by the Chinese Communist Party, and what's gotten worse in recent years is it's completely up to Xi Jinping, that one person. So does China have a mixture economy? Maybe, but that's very temporary. That is very much superficial. And in our lifetime, we might see that disappear.
All right, so we're going to start off Candice Owens.
Sorry, I've been like on the couch watching the whole Candice Owens TPUSA debacle. Like good old Ben Shapiro has been dunking on her. Mr. Vance has been taking the biggest of the most appropriate shits on her. And basically everyone's sowing divisiveness. It's been kind of cute. So honestly, Kino doing this won't be that like, that sounds kind of fun. Let's do this. I may not be in for the whole thing. I really do want a sandwich. I'm not even fucking lying, bro. Like the amount of my tummy that wants a sandwich right now is like, I would just get up, go to the kitchen and make a sandwich, but I'd be gone for a while. Like I have to like, you know, fucking make a patty and then toast bread and get ketchup and stuff. And I kind of eat like a fucking mess, so no.
And started going on the warpath last week against Candice Owens in TPUSA. And this was all leading towards a showdown that was supposed to happen.
Kirk. You said Candice Owens
Eric
went after Candice Owens.
Well, you know, that's also true in a way. Candice Owens did end up going after Candice Owens and kind of burning down Candice Owens' own credibility and career. So anyway, correction is right. Candice Owens started going after Eric Erica Kirk and TPUSA. Here's one that's just super petty, where she started attacking the ratings of the Charlie Kirk show. It's like, the host died, you know?
What the hell? Can you believe it? Their secondary hosts don't get as much as the main host who perished. Huh.
We announced, or it was announced today, that Charlie Kirk's show, which they are continuing, and which once upon a time enjoyed the #1 spot on Apple Podcasts, has now plummeted.
Wait. The Charlie Kirk show is plummeting in views after he died. Huh. The fact that there's still a Charlie Kirk show is insane. Like
it is.
It's still
right. This is a tweet. Breaking news: the Charlie Kirk show has crashed in the rankings, falling to number 94 on Apple Podcasts, even though it routinely held the top 10 spot in the past and even reached #1 when Kirk was alive.
Oh shit!
Well, it's like, it's like if we died, and and Psycho started running Kino Casino.
The views have dropped, guys.
We wouldn't expect it to be quite the same, you know?
It would double in views, Psycho. It would double in views, bro. Don't worry, bud.
The reason for that is simple. It is clear. People are telling you how they feel.
So petty. This is so nasty to do. Like,
and they feel that you are not being honest. They feel that they are not getting the truth from the very people who keep trying to market themselves as his closest friends. And I'm saying marketing intentionally because it feels as though they have transformed into a badly run PR firm from the early 2000s, where you try to use celebrities to influence the public. You get like, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake to wear your denim. And everybody just then starts wearing denim. Right. And I will add on to this that I certainly myself.
Just like what's crazy is like her frame of reference for things betrays how truly stupid she actually is.
Yeah.
Where it always has to relate back to celebrity gossip or celebrity bullshit because that's all that she knows. It's funny, today she revealed that she's never played chess. It's like, you really are telling on yourself with stuff like this, Candice. Now, TPUSA actually does have a clapback response to this. So Andrew Colvett goes, this is actually not true at all. The Charlie Kirk show actually has more viewers and listeners than before Charlie Kirk was murdered when our show was ranked in the top 10. Podcast downloads, RAV, and national audience radio audiences have all rallied behind the show. The Apple and other podcast chart rankings are based primarily on growth, new subs, and new listeners. After Charlie was killed, we obviously experienced a radical convulsive spike. We were #1 for a long time because of it, because millions of new people tuned in immediately after. Unprecedented. The spike has fallen back off some, which was obviously to be expected. That dramatically impacts the charts, but we remain extremely high on overall downloads and live listeners. Why the attack? I think we know why. So whether that's cope or whether that's true.
Yelled sad. Look, that's crazy.
Yeah. Sad.
Bro, and by the way, folks, Candice, we'll see this here in a second, has tarnished her entire rep.
So here comes Candice now retconning when she said, oh, if Erica Kirk asked me to stop, I'll stop. Now let's listen to how she portrays it here, and then we'll flash back to what she actually said.
Okay.
Butterfly writes, Candice, you mentioned several times that if Erica asked you to stop, you would in fact stop. Will you honor her request? Please
listen to this
by your
crazy
word and
shit.
honor what Charlie left behind. Prayers to you. I was very clear here. Erica asked me to stop lying, and I will immediately abide by that request. Candice is lying.
She had the word lie. She had the word lie.
Because she asked me to stop lying. Well, I've never lied. So, of course.
She said stop. You said when she said stop.
This is such a gaslight. This is such a gaslight, dude. This is crazy.
Do you have her before and after on Piers? Do you have that?
So Piers I didn't get to. We'll probably get to Piers on Friday, but there was a lot that happened today on the Piers show.
The before, she's rich today, rich tomorrow. Holy, Piers annihilated her, and it's Piers.
lying.
But all her fans are mad at her and hate her and stop watching. Her views are dropping. The donos are drying up.
What do you want to say? Please stop. Please stop lying. I understand. I comprehend. What I don't comprehend is what I've lied about. Have I made errors along the way? Yes.
She's nuts. This bitch is fucked.
She is. She is, dude.
Wrong one.
But as soon as she tells me what it is I've lied about, I will cease lying immediately. I am on this journey to figure out what happened on that day.
Here's what she
I'm not going to
actually said.
This is it.
stop unless Erica Kirk asks me to stop.
We were told that if we said stop, they would stop. And we said stop.
Okay, 60 coming in
And
a
I'll say
week.
it again. Please stop.
We're good. Unify with Cuba soon.
I mean, this is a widow.
She did say stop repeatedly. Like, she's had to go on air live and say this like 3 times now. It's getting kind of fucking, bro. Like, I don't understand how the fuck a motherfucker treats someone this way. It is absolutely fucking bonkers. So
That's it.
We'll see if it's
And
listened
she's
to.
going into
Please stop.
Christmas time without her husband. Her children were without a father around Christmas time. But Candice wouldn't respect the widow's wishes to stop. She's like, no, I'm making too much money. I'm getting too much viewership. No, fuck you. Even though I said I'd stop, if you said stop, I'm not going to. And I'm going to play petty word games around you saying for me to stop lying.
That was a terrible clap. For like, I started clapping as you said that. I didn't mean that. I swear.
Please stop
Negative
lying.
clap.
But as soon as she tells me what it is I've lied about, I will cease.
You do know you're on camera, you
no, I don't think she can tell she's on camera. She thinks that space is fake and gay.
What a dumb read.
She really is.
She's a
She
dumb.
really
honestly.
Okay, so now this is really crazy. And what freaks me out in this clip is like how Erica Kirk's eyes are. Now, like, I'm not saying that she's like an evil psyop from the pits of hell that murdered her husband, but these are the eyes of somebody that's capable of that.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy, dude. Like, watch her eyes here. Watch this.
I've seen this.
The podcaster Candice Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's.
Like,
at
once
one
Candice
time, an
Owens, did
employee
you
of-
see that? The phase shift. When Candice Owens' name was said, it was like an MK Ultra trigger phrase, and her eyes fucking narrow. It's like the most intense look I've ever seen. Like, she's all smiley and
At
happy.
one time, a friend of Charlie's. At one time, an employee of Turning Point.
Oh my God.
She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it.
Bro. Whoa, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, these are the eyes that Candice Owens encountered in the 4.5 hour meeting. I'm pretty sure the moment she looked at Candice like this, Candice shot her fucking pants. Like, these eyes, like, cast her into the crystal from which there was no escape, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I would be sincerely worried, like, genuinely worried if anyone looked at me like that. Like,
I'm worried now that we're not even involved. I'm like
is that
scared
a
here.
sticker? Do we zoom in on the eyes?
She's not. She's
building her business.
You know what though? This is a straight up. This is a what's it called? This face makes sense because the way Candice talks about fucking everything, you would make that face too. You know what I mean?
Some are saying it's righteous. You know, this might be righteous indignation, righteous fury at the obvious lies of Candice Owens profiteering off of her husband's death and standing on his grave while she denigrates and destroys the organization that he dedicated his life to building. Yeah, I could see that.
Yep.
Off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop.
Whoa!
That's it. That's all I have to say.
Whoa!
Stop.
That's cold, dude.
Gets better.
She's ice cold, dude.
Uh-oh.
So then we got the announcement. Erica Kirk goes, Candice Owens and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion on Monday, December 15th. Candice and I have agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you. And Candice says she's looking forward to this. This is actually like some Game of Thrones shit. Like, it's like a parlay.
King's Landing, you know? The King's Landing
meetup. They have a negotiation about all of this. Like, then Tim Pool, because it's pray for peace. I hope we can resolve our issues and see victory this year.
My God.
Crowder weighed in, and he was basically proven to be right. He goes, I can almost guarantee that Candice will say that Erica is the only one that could make her stop her conspiracy theories surrounding Charlie, and she will walk back some of her claims about TPUSA being implicated. Bookmark this post. Now, she didn't say that Erica was the only one, but she did end up walking back a lot of the claims she was making about TPUSA and really softening her rhetoric, which is leading to a lot of people saying she got the call. So this was what she said. Erica and I had an extremely productive 4.5-hour meeting that I think we both feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. We agreed much more than I had anticipated. Of course, we also disagreed on various points. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. Because I will, of course, have a full rundown for you all tomorrow as I'm currently exhausted. But she says the result was that tensions were thawed. Okay. So we're now going to go to our aftermath folder. The aftermath of this situation. First of all, here we have the first appearance of Candice Owens in public. Here we have Candice Owens immediately after the meeting with Erica Kirk.
She white here?
Hey, everyone. I've had some time to think things through and have changed my mind on certain topics. For one, I am now certain that Charlie Kirk had actually passed away from natural causes.
Okay.
She turned white. She's sure Charlie Kirk died.
Okay, I didn't hear Candice Owens say that she's sure that Charlie Kirk died of natural causes yet, but that is, yeah, I'm just gonna go on record here and say that if by nature you mean by the hands of a complete and utterly fucking disgusting fucking dickhead, then
natural causes. She got the call.
So can I just say, I love the French, love them, French fries. Charlie loved French fries too. He wouldn't stop talking about them on our trip to Tel Aviv. Lovely place, by the way.
So the truth is not far off from that parody. Let's have a look at how Candice Owens actually started her show yesterday.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom.
She started her show by saying Shabbat Shalom.
Everybody back at home, happy Hanukkah to our greatest friends and allies. And
she stole our bit, by the way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, she really did.
I mentioned that Israel does have a right to defend itself. Tucker Carlson is Adolf Hitler, and TikTok does need to be purchased.
Someone asked, "Is this AI?" No, the first one was AI. This is actually see how her show started
this
yesterday.
Is actually real.
Needless to say, there was a massive backlash, and everyone freaked the out.
No, guys, I'm serious. Her fans are pissed. Like, she's actually bleeding out brutally.
How I'm feeling today. I am not different. Maybe you are different. Welcome back to Candice.
Hold on. This is not edited in any way. This is real. This is real, bro. She's dancing to Hava Nagila.
What the fuck?
She's radioactive. She glows.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey,
so
I'm good,
she's
I'm alive.
actually seething. She's seething that people called her out and said that she got the call. She's losing her mind. And people are continuing to call this out. Her backpedaling, her just totally softening her position on TPUSA. Because I'll tell you what actually happened, okay?
Go.
What happened is Candice Owens and Erica Kirk met behind closed doors. The TPUSA lawyer was there, and the TPUSA lawyer told Candice exactly how she's factually wrong about every single point. And they have that documented. They recorded the call, okay, with her and the lawyer.
Yeah.
So now, when Candice makes claims that she knows are factually untrue regarding the organization, they can prove malice in the defamation lawsuit that's going to come. Okay. So this is why Candice is now pivoting away from TPUSA and instead trying to talk about Egyptian planes and the Bumble.
In game, we have 15 more days in game before the United States and Cuba becomes one fucking monolith to fuck with.
Bees now.
Alex
But
Jones
the
proved that
problem with-
wrong.
And we're actually going to watch that. Alex Jones delivered.
Like, just imagine the cost of launch from somewhere a lot more close to the equator. Just imagine the cost of launches. Oh.
A brutal, damning investigative report on Candace Owens' claims about the Egyptian planes. It turns out that 66% of the call logs that Candace had were wrong. And that, in fact, Erica Kirk and the planes, 90% of the time, were on different continents. So when she claims that the Egyptian planes were following Erica Kirk around, her data was completely wrong. And she didn't know where Erica Kirk actually was. So her flight logs of the plane, 66% of the time, were just flat out wrong.
Yeah.
Or fabricated.
Yeah.
And then when you consider that she didn't actually know where where Erica Kirk was, it goes up as high as 90%. So there actually was no correlation with the Egyptian planes. It was all fucking bullshit. It's been completely debunked at this point. And, you know, we should have all known. Debunked by Alex fucking Jones.
But, bro, she has basically burnt all credibility. She should have not met up with Erica, continued her grift, maybe move away from it now and sort of move into. But now everyone's eyes are open. Everyone knows I was right.
Well, listen,
2017.
when Alex Jones isn't on board with your conspiracy, you know it's over, dude.
Yeah.
Productive conversation, and they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Erica said, stop, and then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30
That's
minutes.
what
Just
I
like,
actually think happened. I
As it
think
just
she
put
hit
all of-
you with those eyes. She hit you with the magic spell, and you were put in the crystal for 4.5 hours, where the lawyer read you the riot act, and then you promised to be a good girl from now on. That's what actually happened.
these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governable. I am basically akin to Kanye West.
By the way, Kanye West bowed down and apologized to the rap.
Yeah, Kanye West bowed down, apologized, and he at least has a diagnosed medical disorder that explains why he was doing that. And like, people need to stop fucking with him, honestly. Like, bro actually went through some shit, professed it to the rabbi who listens to him, and apologized publicly, then got filleted publicly for apologizing by people that hate every Hebrew person, and also filleted by a bunch of people that thought that he was fucking weeble wobbling because they don't understand the least bit of a lick about fucking health.
Rabbis, he is actually governable, you know.
I never felt more seen than when he tweeted a lot of years ago, just fired my manager because I realized I can't be managed. That is me. That
So
tweet right there. I was like,
cringe. Wait. But your husband controls every aspect of your life. So says you. She said, John, what's his name? John Farmer?
Yes.
Needs to
That's right.
permission from John Farmer.
John Farmer. Yeah, he needs permission from the farmer. Yeah. George Farmer
Oh,
it is.
George,
Yeah. George Farmer. She's on the George Farmer plantation and has to ask his permission to do
Wow.
anything. Yeah.
John Kiwi Farmer, very funny.
yes, Kanye, that I get this. Okay. Nobody is.
The fact that she says she's on the level with Kanye just tells you where she's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just full on delusion.
Changing their mind, anything. How ridiculous would it have been if I'm doing all of this, investigating, asking all of these questions, and then Erica Kirk offers to answer some of these questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. I can't betray the people. I don't want any answers to the questions. I just want to ask them. No, this is the entire reason we are doing this.
But what's interesting is when she apparently had the opportunity to do this publicly, she declined. But once it was a private closed door meeting, she was agreeable to it. And none of
Well, India has now declared war on Nigeria. Fuck it.
us have any idea
This game is fun.
what actually went down in this private closed door meeting. So, you know, if she really was open to the truth and truth telling and all this, wouldn't the meeting have happened openly?
Yeah,
it's strange that. But
yeah. Why was it behind the closed doors? You know,
looking at the situation, going, why can't Turning Point USA just answer basic questions? And I can tell you guys that yesterday, for 4 hours and 30 minutes, there were no rules. They said you can ask us any question that you want.
Besides the rule of it not being live, right?
Candice's shift in position, or at least her perceived shift in position, led to a lot of her audience turning on her. Let's have a look at some of these super chats that came in. Someone goes, wow, this breaks my heart. Fuentes, if you see this, please expose who this actor is and who funds her. You have the green light. People may call this dumb, but Candice is looking to the right too much. She's looking to the right too much. So now she's getting a taste of her own medicine.
Oh my gosh, they're doing fucking analysis of her face and where she looks from the comments. Not even from the fucking super chats, bro. Dude.
Listen, when she'd say, oh, this person is blinking too much or stuff like that, now it's being turned on her. She's looking to the right too much. Mikey phone call doesn't add up with her timeline, which is true. And what the fuck are you putting the plane debunking on a website and not YouTube? Then we've got this guy here for $50 goes, this is just a word salad. She is rambling. Sad to say, but you are not passing the vibe check. The market is always right, and the chat is overwhelmingly saying you are not the same.
Wow.
So this is similar to when Robespierre, or however you want to say his name, in the French Revolution, he guillotined all these people. And then eventually the guillotine was turned on him by the same mob that he riled up, right? This is what's happening to Candice Owens. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Bro, and by the way, you know Fuentes will gain from this. Fuentes is going to get a massive boost from fucking beating this bitch down. Honestly.
Just to say this, very happy that.
By the way, doesn't she seem off here? No, for real. I'm not trying to be like
oh yeah, no, she's absolutely off. Look at the way her eyes are.
Yeah, she seems like very like, well, it's good. No, I'm happy. Everything's good.
I think she was cloned. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this is the real Candice Owens. I think this is a clone. I'm pretty sure the Bumblebee cult got to her. She was cloned by the Bumblebees, and this is a completely different person than what we'd seen in the past.
Yep.
That's just the vibe I'm getting.
And
I'll be honest, guys. To be real, I was told in a dream that she was cloned by God. Okay?
Yeah.
He told me.
I believe that. Yeah.
We are on much better feet and that we have opened the lines of communication. I do genuinely think that.
All right. You let us down. Our only hope. Purchased. Lost us.
She sold out.
Look at this. $500 from Crisis Care Biohazard. We provide biohazard cleanup services in Texas if you need us ever. Is that an ad?
What did they mean by this?
Wait.
We got this person for $10. Candice, if you back down, I am never supporting you again. I won't support someone I don't trust. I will block your content on every platform. Have the courage to tell the truth. God's got you. And then they go, as if they can't make up the call logs, Candice. Seriously? After all they've lied about already? Just believe them? This is
We've embedded and allied with Kazakhstan, so we're going to pull out for now. I'm over a control point cap, and I've been for a while. So we're going to do that in hopes to kind of recoup while we go over everything else we've invested ourselves into. Yeah, we're only really trying to hold the United States and Cuba until Unification Day. Ooh, guess what day it is? Ooh.
Pathetic.
Oh, does she read any of these? Or no?
No, she doesn't read. No, she doesn't
that
read.
Justice Strike.
Can't read, right? Because she's, one of them.
Like, Kazakhstan is our Trojan horse in the East. It prevents anyone in the Eurasian Union from fucking declaring war on us.
Did a great job.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Reffing that conversation yesterday. And I also do want to shout out Megyn Kelly because this was what we were trying to make this happen in the background. Really.
There you go.
Look at this. You kissed Erica Kirk's gaudy ring. No solid answers. This guy for $5. Faking gay. You will not outsmart you fans. We make your living. We got Clear Mind Politics for $2. And you believed a call log they probably made up? Then we've got Ad News 11 for $2. Put a $sign in chat if you think she's sold out.
Wow.
Since
You
Blake
can
Neff
see, like,
fumbled the
this
first
audience is entirely schizophrenic reaps, and you reap what you fucking sow, Candice. You reap what you sow, bish.
invite. And thank you. That's in large part because of you guys at home that were like, what the F was that? And I think that they got
What
enough
the
flack
F?
that they were
What is happening? This is weird. This genuinely doesn't make sense. You're obfuscating what the conversation was prior to talking to Erica. This doesn't sound very convincing. Funny how you won't say that TPUSA or what TPUSA said during the meeting. How could we believe you now? You were compromised, Candice. Why are you blinking so much? That's crazy.
So when you're at
Why
the
are you
point where
blinking
she's
so much?
blinking too much, so it's like unfalsifiable. So like once you go, listen, she sold out, then anything can be used to justify it. But this is what she did to other people. Like with my Robespierre analogy, this is what she did. She put other people to the guillotine. They were blinking too much. Their body language was off. They were looking to the right for a teleprompter or a handler off screen. So now this is what you get, Candice. You're blinking so much. What's going on? We've got Brittany Summers for $5. Why did they make it a private conversation rather than a live video after offering for you to come and broadcast it live the day prior?
Yeah. You know what she is? She's a blinker.
She's full of hummus.
Oh, you asked how my bitch ass was doing? I'm doing okay. I'm destroying stuff. By destroying, I mean I'm making peace, not war.
It's a hummus salad.
This is the most confusing video you've done so far. You're not touching the main bases. You're stuttering too much.
She's stuttering. She's a fraud. She's a stutterer.
Wow, I'm on her new video. Everyone's shitting on her.
The
I used to
comments
come
are
for
crazy.
the comment. I used to come for the content. Now I just come for the comments. Ooh, buddy, every comment's rude and mean.
You want to pull it up? I grabbed some of the comments earlier, but I know there are new comments that have still come in.
Dude, this
So it's not just the super chats. I remember at the start of the segment, a guy went, "Oh, only 4 super chats?" No, like it's a lot of comments. And by the way, Candice ran damage control and claimed that these are all bots. We'll get into
click if you're not a bot.
Lol, if they were all bots, why would they be spending money? I don't get her fucking shit on this. Like, if she's gonna say that all her fucking, in her words, rude super chats were fucking bots, why are they paying her money if they're bots? Okay, are they gonna charge back? That's a viable option. That would be funny. I mean, I also thought that iDubbbz was gonna get like hyped up on subs at the start, then dropped massively to take a big old chunk out of his expected gains. Which kind of seems like it might have not been wrong either. So I'm just going to keep watching and laughing.
So about
Nice.
Candice or Erica, they used to come for the content. And Candice, did you ask Erica? Like, now they're just like, did you do all these, you know?
Well, because she's expecting this level of evidence and this level of dotting I's and crossing T's from every other single person with any sort of tangential involvement in the assassination of anyone who was there that day. So she's going to be held to those standards.
going to, when we were going to live stream the conversation before the Barry Weiss moment, Megyn Kelly offered to rest that conversation.
Time to move on.
Did you get bought out by hush hush money? You seem scared. Not one single verifiable fact in this episode of the series so far. Why does this feel like a reality TV episode? And whatever genre it is, I don't like it. Then we've got Zachariah Benjamin for $5 who goes, Charlie is alive. She's too happy to have been blackmailed. Nothing she's saying is making sense. 4-hour convo for this? No, he's alive. Weren't his hands?
Oh
So,
my God.
You heard it here, guys. Charlie's actually
She did a
alive.
very good job. I do think that she has kept
Zachariah Benjamin's having a tough time,
it
huh?
very even. She's not hysterical. And
We'll just keep it. We'll
Now
keep
that
it like
Candice
around
starts
in case we
talking
want it
common
later.
sense, her fans start blaming her for being sold out and don't believe her. Egyptian spy planes, all good. Candice, you're blinking way too much. You've never blinked this much. What did you do?
No, you never blinked this much. I love how that's a constant. It's like a recurring thing, the blinking. If you blink too much, then you're controlled by Israel. You have nothing. Go watch Turkey, Tom. He shows the evidence clearly, and even the text, which is in line with Tyler and the furry's character. The past 3 months of you spitting on Charlie's grave was a nothing burger.
You know what? Her super chats are correct. Turkey Tom actually did nail the shit down. Like he covered he's one of the few people that appropriate and correctly reported on it's a person who started dating someone who transitioned while they were with them and is also a furry. Like, bro, Bulgarian man strong Turkish Thomas comes at it with fucking, not to use a shitty analogy for this one, but guns blazing like a fucking champion.
Demonic, it's evil. How dare Candice? And I appreciated that. She has said, I don't agree with.
I guarantee you she's melting down privately at home, reading the comments.
Oh, she is. She is.
I made fun of her in 2016, exposed her, social autopsy like scam website. Me alone, just little Worski, like made her melt down. These are probably killing her, dude.
The one thing we know for sure is that George Farmer's getting the paddle tonight.
Like, you could say that he came with receipts, timestamps, and 0 fucks, like a straight shooter, but he goes to the gym and he even says that dudes that go to the gym aren't straight. So.
George Farmer somewhere he's yelping out in pain, buddy.
Also, don't think that she's doing this because she's.
It was just me.
Been possessed by a demon. I think she actually
and Blair
believes
White
this, and I do.
Look at this one. This shit feels fake, Candice. How much they pay you, Candice? Must say this feels fake and gay all the way. Candice, they played you. They needed to be live for us to see the same way they killed you.
Probably deserves it. Does not feel like the truth. So essentially, you're saying you trusted everything she told you and you aren't going to provide her direct responses to direct questions about the autopsy, covering up crime scene, hand signals from security, no aid given, etc., etc.
And with time, we'll see whether or not I was right. I think that's really what it comes down to. But all around, definitely a productive conversation. Mr. Bruce Lee writes, people in the chat, many other channels are not hearing what they want to hear, so it's automatically, well, Candice got paid. The chats are so botted. It's
paid. I think it was a threat.
Oh, the chats are botted, guys.
A lawyer,
the chats are botted, guys. I bet
actually look at
Candice.
comments after the episode to see what people think.
The chats are botted. You created this paranoia about TPUSA, and then you come back after a private meeting and be like, it's all good. And everyone's like, oh yeah, cool. Fair enough.
It's the Egyptian bots!
And we've had so many people talk about how there are so many bots in the chat. And so focus on obviously the words that I am saying. And obviously you can tell that I have not been paid because I wouldn't be talking about Israel. And I think there's something to explore there.
No, it's called controlled opposition, where you give a certain amount of the truth, but then you mislead everybody like a Judas goat down a path to the slaughter, is what it really is. Anyway, we got Candice here, then pins this post and later deletes it. She goes, okay, by the way, for the guy who was saying all the comments are positive, why did Candice post this then? He goes, okay, I'm a bit frustrated by the comments here. Foremost, I was only given the option for a closed door meeting. I obviously agreed to it. It was almost 5 hours long. I need more time to digest. I just wanted to present the facts to you all today of what they said without any of my own innuendo, because there is a lot to digest and pray about. It's difficult to put into words what it's like to be in my position and to have to consider the scenarios that no person on earth should have to consider. How many people can even say they watched a friend of theirs be murdered in cold blood over politics? And then has to consider the possibility that entire governments colluded to make it happen. And maybe even the people close to him, all while being attacked from every media group and influencer in the world. It's very heavy stuff. And on top of it, I have to deal with how fickle the audience is. If I make even one mistake on pronunciation, God forbid. This is the audience that you courted, Candice. They're fickle. They're cannibals. They only care about the circus. They only care about the drama. And guess who's next in the feeding tank at the zoo? You. You're going to be fed to your own audience just like you were feeding everybody else. Get it?
Get it? And you're next. Oh, we got
before we go to Fuentes' take, let's go up to the folder at the top and let's have a look at some more of the comments that Candice was receiving.
Oh, here we go.
This is it's trolls in here calling her a sellout. Y'all, duh. Save your money. She earns more than enough from sponsors in Israel. We all felt something was off before you ever said anything.
Bro, she should not have used her intro on her show, getting told that she makes more on sponsors in Israel. Oh. A part of OBS died, but not all of it. Okie dokie. I don't know how much took a poop on itself, but Twitch and Kick are still running. And I'll be off after kino anyway, so whatever.
Anything. Backpedaling won't change our minds. Charlie Kirk is alive and well. You're being played. The evidence presented does not point to Tyler. Why wouldn't they say what the actual proof is? What is happening? What is happening, Candice?
Oh.
White suit, black shirt, uniform. And since when the giant diamond wedding ring? And the bracelet? Looks like another one bites the dust. So this is like Candice was talking about, that people who wear maroon shirts are controlled by the Mormon church in Israel.
Yeah.
So now if you wear a white suit with a black shirt, it's a uniform signaling that you're with Mossad. And if you have a diamond wedding ring or a bracelet, it shows that you're controlled up. Candice took the money. I knew she was going to push a switcheroo and trick us. She said she doesn't think he did now, or what is going on? She can't even maintain eye contact with her viewers. She's rumbling, stuttering, contradicting herself, nervous. Can we urgently get a body language expert analysis in here? And the fact they didn't want it on where we can see the interview tells me we are right. She is a bad actress, and the eyes don't lie. So hiding the interview is guilty.
Wow.
No one can be trusted.
Whoa, literally no one. This is crazy.
The fact that this wasn't recorded
is a huge problem. That's the main thing. Because it wasn't live, it wasn't recorded. They were supposed to do it live, remember? And now it's not live, and she's all cool with it. Okay. Here we go, meeting privately with a serious mistake in judgment. The people know something is off, and we're not here for it. Did Erica confirm that the bullet was from a 30-06? That should have been the first question.
Well, the thing is, Erica wouldn't know if the bullet was from a 30-06 or not, because Erica is not the FBI, nor is she privy to everything. Like, this is what's crazy, is that people seem to...
Honestly, Erica Kirk should probably be put in charge of the FBI. I mean, Mr. Patel has this nasty habit of making attestations to documents he doesn't fucking read. And I feel like Erica Kirk would actually read. So now I'm thinking about it. That's a good proposition. Put Mrs. Kirk in charge of the FBI. And let me go read documents with her.
To not understand how these investigations actually work, and that the FBI is not sharing all of the evidence they have with TPUSA, and that's not how it works. That's how you end up getting mistrials and people who are guilty going free and winning on appeal and stuff like that. You can't just actually disclose everything to the public before the trial. But anyway, like, obviously we're not allowed to live in the real world with this stuff because everybody is a fucking lunatic now. Anyway, so let's have a look at Fuentes' takes here, which I think he was pretty on point, and I disagree with nearly everything this guy says all the time, and I think he's a piece of shit, but I think he was pretty on point with his coverage of Candice Owens. Let's have a listen.
Let's check it out.
And to borrow a phrase, the whole show was pretty fake and gay.
Get her!
Fake.
In the words of Candice Owens, fake and gay. Oh my gosh, bro. Mr. Fuentes picking this up is kind of fucking bomb too. Let's all just fucking go back to it.
Nervous.
Fuck it.
Ooh, she sounded not confident. It sounded like she knows she's full of shit. It was confused, rambling, non-committal, wants to maintain the facade that there's some conspiracy, I'm still on the case, but at the same time, walking significant parts of it back, and in the end, only spending about half the show talking about it before she launched into a bunch of other stuff about Tim Pool and other drama.
Let me just say one thing. Tim Pool should have never been a star, huh?
No, he is not ready for prime. By the way, Nick would know fake and gay. It takes one to know one, right?
No, he's using this as a jumping board. Let's be real. Come on.
And here's what I think happened. So what happened to the big bad Candice Owens? I think that's what everybody's wondering. What happened to that cockiness? What happened to the swaggering Candice Owens?
Lawyers.
For 3 months, this...
What the...
Whoa, buddy.
I think I know what word he used to describe Candice. I'm not going to say it, but I think I know what it is.
Swaggering Candice Owens.
Lawyers.
For 3 months, this...
What the...
Whoa, buddy. Tell us how you really feel, Nicholas.
Has been going on her YouTube and bobbing her head.
Tell him.
I'm going to name names. That doesn't work for me.
Preach. Preach, kid.
It's actually really fucking funny, dude. She's uppity.
What you mean? What you mean? That ain't work with my timeline. What you mean? I got the names. You don't want to f with me. That, we've been hearing that for 3 months. We have been hearing this uppity ignoramus for 3 months.
Oh my god. He's killing me.
This uppity ignoramus. Tell him, Nick. Tell him.
That's actually really funny, dude.
Popping her head, cocky. Hey,
This monologue he gave was actually really kino. Like, he fucking went off for like 40 straight minutes, just demolished her, bro.
I gotta watch the full app. I gotta watch the full app.
Names, don't you try. Don't play with me. Where'd she go? Where'd that Candice go? Where is she? What happened? Did they replace?
Where'd that Candice go? I think she got her some fucking syrup.
Her with a body double? Is it AI? Wow. Check her earlobes. Check her earlobes. Did they replace her?
Yo.
Because we got a very different Candice Owens. Today we got a Candice Owens who was sort of nervous, saying, "Hi guys, Shabbat Shalom. Everyone's saying I sold out." What do you mean? That's not true. Those are bots saying that. I still believe there's a conspiracy. What happened? What happened to that same energy? She went into the meeting with this energy, giddy, grinning, smiling. Erica Kirk, she's talking about me. I know she's talking about me. I'm going to set her straight. I'm going to ask my questions. Tell me where I lied, she said. Then she goes in the meeting, whole different attitude. Changed her tune. She comes out of the meeting, whole different attitude. Erica's the best.
I think that the syrup is what he wanted to call her as well. We're going to move on. Thank you, Aunt Jemima's syrup, for being funny.
Turning Point's innocent. It's just some people in Turning Point might be bad because, you know, we don't know, but we know it feels off.
The cope.
What happened?
We'll be ready for new orders soon.
Okay, my dears, I'm getting offline so I can go make a sandwich. I'm not sorry. Like, I might start up a faster paced game of this just so I can like burn back into it.
So today I
appreciate you all immensely.
Legal stuff.
Actually, is this new Lust?
If you
Oh, this is only 8 minutes of Lust and I want to finish what I'm doing in game? Oh yeah, no, I want to kind of annex a fucking nation. I mean, 8 minutes of Lust while I annex somebody? Oh yes, please. Yes, please.
A subreddit, a forum. What happens when one of your users is abusing or going after someone online? Can you ever be held responsible? I think this is a discussion worth having in the H-free snark mod context, right? So, legally speaking, there are legal shields. The legal shield would be the
14 days in game till we take over Cuba and bring it into the United States. Let's
Section
go.
230 of the Communications Decency Act. There is free legal shields available. The conduit rule. Legally, Section 230 treats moderators as users of an interactive computer service. It states you cannot be held liable as the publisher or speaker of content created by someone else. Number 2, immunity from law school. If user A harasses or defames user B, so if Roman P harasses or defames Ethan Klein in the subreddit, typically speaking, the Ethan Klein would not be able to sue for failing to delete or mitigate the damages. The law recognizes that moderators are volunteers and cannot catch every single violation by every single user. Now, number 3 is very interesting. It's called the Good Samaritan Protection. Section 230 protects you if you do take action. So if you do delete Roman P's harassing statement, that's not admission of guilt. That's something we want to encourage. So when do these shields fail? When is legal liability can be pursued? Now, this is very different. in the Ethan Klein versus H3 Snark case, they're talking about contributory copyright infringement. I'm talking about straight up suing them for harassment, the moderators. So I'm talking about a completely different lawsuit, but it's the lawsuit that everyone wants to see. The contributory copyright negligence almost seems like more or less a technicality, a very good technicality, don't get me wrong, but is a technicality how you're going to get the moderators' names. What the moderators should, in my opinion, be sued for is harassment, abuse, right? Online abuse, and so on. So here are 4 ways that the shield doesn't happen. And number 1, and the most important, is the moderators participate in the abuse. So the moderators are participating in the harassment. They're also posting things that are very not nice and encouraging other people, and that's itself is encouragement. Then they are not going to be shielded. Federal crimes include child exploitation, drug trafficking, and credible threats of harm, which I would think would apply here. Number 3, intellectual property. And this is, again, how Ethan Klein got them. He got them an IP. Negligence in verification. So if you run a sub where you have to verify people, like lending or charity, then you told people you're going to verify to make sure that these people are who they say they are, and then they end up scamming the group. That's on you as well. So in different areas, you have different laws. So in the United Kingdom and EU, they have something called the Online Safety Act. In the EU, that's in the UK, and the EU has the Digital Service Act. And this places more of a duty of care. So illegal harms have to be shut down in the UK and EU more aggressively than they have to be done in the US. The US has a very liberal, a very pro First Amendment, freedom of speech take on it compared to the UK and EU. So is there vicarious liability? Sometimes. Reddit generally does not provide legal counsel for volunteer moderators if they are sued. However, here's my example. This is the legal class I'm going to teach. So if user A harasses user B, so if Roman P harasses Ethan Klein, is the moderator liable? Generally speaking, no. If the moderator bans Roman P for free speech, is the moderator liable? Generally, no. Here's the interesting part. If the moderator is encouraging behavior to harass Ethan Klein by upvoting or pinning to the top this specific user who has a history and there is a knowledge that this user is harassing Ethan Klein, then they could be guilty. It's very fascinating, and it's one of these things where you don't want to associate yourself with someone behaving in this manner, because even if you're innocent, even if you're 100% innocent and you don't really agree with the harassment or you're just trying to have a good time, you're liable for it if you are encouraging that person to post more and the upvotes. And you can understand how social media works. I don't have the requisite materials to upgrade the house. More upvotes you'll get.
Oh well.
The more comments, discussion, and the better advantage it would serve for your subreddit, because it might put it to the front of Reddit and get more users that way, because there's an interesting discussion that is kind of extreme happening. So Roman P, he's still posting every day. So I don't think the moderators are posting. I do think they probably have some measure of self-control, hopefully. But this Roman P character, he's not one of the moderators, supposedly not one of the moderators. He's supposedly not represented by the lawyer who didn't go to law school lawyer. And he's just out here posting and blasting away, and he's never going to stop. Like every day he posts more and more, either a post or a comment. He's commenting every day, posting every other week, it looks like. And you have a scenario where not everyone in the group can be sued. Maybe Roman P lives in Rome. Maybe he lives in Malaysia, where it would be very difficult to get him in a case. It'd have to be an international case costing a lot more money. Maybe he's in Australia, like Carl Jobs. It would be difficult to sue Carl Jobs from somebody living in the US. The main takeaway here is if you see a member or subreddit or Discord and they're going a little crazy, you are responsible for that member. And if you don't want to be responsible for that member, you just have to ban them immediately. You can't ban them later when they've all done all this damage already. You have to ban them very, very fast. And this is probably the biggest mistake the H3 Snark mods have made, is that they didn't take action fast enough when they knew some of their users were off the reservation and doing actual things to harm the clients, which again, they can be appalled by, but they didn't really take the action immediately. They're going to go down for contributor or copyright infringement, and it will be interesting to see when their names are published who these individuals are, what their jobs are. You know what we're going to have to cover here. Again, like I said, in a legal case, there is no such thing as doxing because you need your name. Typically, you need your name to sue. You got to use your real name. You can't use Denons or Frogan or Caseytron. The law requires a real name and address because that's how the legal system works. Without a real name or address that you're physically at currently, the entire legal system there would be no point to it because there would be no way to enforce punishment. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hi, guys.
I fucked up. We can't bring them in.
Promigration.
We can't have them. I fucked up. Y'all, I fucked up. I did it. I fucked up. We're still going to send the policy person in because I'm like pretty sure it requires I have all those conditions met. So I should have read it earlier. I need to have a claim on one of the regions in Cuba. And well, we have one region. So the only way to take Havana is, how many ways can I annex this? Y'all, tomorrow, we're going to have to do annexation. That's all there is to it. We're going to deploy an army in Havana. Peacefully. Peacefully. Y'all, I'm going to play a, faster paced game later tonight. Thank you all for having my bitch ass. I appreciate you. I am going to get offline after the policy thing goes through, so I'm going to put my timestamps in. And then afterwards, I'm going to, run away. But I'm fairly sure that I don't get our way this time, and we do not get to eat Havana.
I will help them.
That's the weird part, right? I've been hiding the audio. Oh, now I'm dropping
Public
all the
sentiment
frames.
is increasingly with us.
Ew.
Things are cooling off.
Policy direction complete.
Yeah, we can't do it. We can only declare war, grant independence, disband army, etc. So the only way we could take this now would be to declare war first. I mean, we're already allied, but we can't federation because we don't share a claim. Now, awkwardly, that's just dumb of me, but you know what? It looks like we can't do it. We're caked in. There's no way out. No way out at all, y'all. Absolutely no way. Well, why not out? Thank you all immensely for everything. Please take care of yourselves. Have a lovely day. Be well out there. And night. I'm gonna go make a sandwich.